Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto has harem with Temari, Hotaru T, Shizuka. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by ChaosMagemon and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. It was a long and treacherous mission for the retrieval squad of Shikamaru Nara, Chuji Akimichi, Niji Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka and Akamaru, but it was more treacherous for Naruto Uzumaki. It came down to fighting his comrade rival to keep him from going to nuke Nin Orochimaru, who wanted the ocular power known as the Sharingan. In a last-ditch effort, Naruto called upon the chakra of the Kyuubi no Kitsune to defeat Sasuke, who harnessed the power of a cursed mark put on him by Orochimaru. When they collided, both were knocked unconsciously as Kakashi Hatake arrived and brought them back to Konoha, while the others were rounded up and brought back to the hospital. The group was recuperating in Konoha's hospital for several days, but Naruto was discharged earlier, having healed quickly than the others. He was about to grab a bite at his favorite ramen stand until an umbu landed before him. "Naruto Uzumaki, your presence is demanded by the council immediately." "What? And just when I was about to eat?" He sighed. "Alright, let's get this over with." He headed off to the administration building, where a big issue was about to be addressed that would lead to outrage. Soon he stood before Tsunade, Jiraiya, the elder council, the village, and the clan heads, Uzumaki, Naruto. For the attempt of murdering a Konoha shinobi, and the threat of releasing the Kyuubi, you are hereby stripped from your rank and banished from Konoha. You have exactly 2 days to get your stuff and leave. If you are seen here after the days are up, you will be killed on sight," Danzo announced. "What?" Tsunade Senju, the Godame Hokage, bellowed. "What did you say?" she demanded as her teammate Jiraiya held her down. "You've heard us correctly, Princess. Naruto Uzumaki is to be banned from Konoha for attempting murder on Sasuke Uchiha," Danzo continued. "You can't do that," Naruto shouted in outrage. "But we can, Uzumaki, and we will," Hamura warned him. "Last I recall, the mission was to bring Sasuke back to the village at all costs," Naruto reminded them. "Regardless of the details, you did and in fact nearly murdered a Konoha shinobi," Danzo retorted. "So what was I supposed to do, let Sasuke kill me and go to Orochimaru?" Naruto demanded. "Even you old fossils should know there's no such thing as a clean fight on the battlefield. Besides, you think he was busted up. Look what he did to me." He lifted his shirt up, showing 2 scars that Sasuke jabbed into his chest from his Chidori technique, and both were incredibly close to the heart. The clan heads looked in sorrow for the boy, seeing he took so many hits from his supposed comrade, and is getting repaid by being banned. "Nevertheless, of your injuries, Uzumaki, our word is clear," Koharu answered. "This is stupid," Naruto called. "You're favoring a bloody traitor over someone who risked his life for this village?" "Silence, demon!" a villager shouted as more villagers started trash-talking him. "Silence!" Tsunade bellowed, silencing them. "You all cannot hold Naruto responsible for the trouble Sasuke Uchiha was put the retrieval squad through. He may have used the Kyuubi's chakra, but he clearly has it under control, as he demonstrated in Chunin exams, where he defeated Hyuga Niji without causing him any undue harm," Jiraiya voiced, and having witnessed it. "With all due respect, Jiraiya," Danzo continued, "your training with the container has not given us the desired results. Clearly the boy's emotions are linked to his ability to call upon the demon's power, and since he is unable to control his emotions, he cannot control a powerful enough amount of demonic chakra without losing control of his actions. The Uchiha's injuries are proof enough to attest to this." "Danzo, you are seriously crossing the line," Tsunade ordered until Naruto called. "It's okay, Grandma," Naruto answered without lifting his face up to look at anybody. "You council folk, you've been at my throat ever since I was born because of something I had no control of, nor did I ever ask to be a part of," he continued. "But I guess that doesn't matter to you, does it?" "Nothing ever does. I'd hoped I'd be able to make an impact in this village and show you all I'm not what you think of me as. But I guess I was wrong, you're just selfish assholes biased towards anybody different from you." The civilians started lashing out at him until Tsunade shouted, "Quiet. As Hokage, I demand a compromise. If I am to actually more or which against my own will banish Naruto, that I ask for something in return." "What do you wish of Tsunade?" Hamura asked. "That if Naruto is banned from the village, Sasuke Uchiha is to be put under permanent lockup and have his chakra sealed off for attempting to go nuke Nin and attacking a Konoha shinobi." The civilians started objecting until Shikaku Nara voiced his opinion. "I side with Tsunade on these terms." "As do I," Chuza Akimichi agreed. "Me too," Inoichi Yamanaka said. "And me," Minazuka added. "I side with Tsunade as well," Shibi Aburame said. "And so do I," Hayashi Hyuga finished. Danzo frowned, seeing Tsunade's supportive members of the clan heads were overpowering against his plot to get rid of Naruto, but sighed. "The council approves of this request. Only if Uzumaki Naruto leaves Konoha." "And I will," Naruto frowned. Then you have exactly 2 days to leave. Your time starts now, Danzo said as the meeting ended. Naruto, without saying a word, turned around and walked off while Tsunade wanted to go after Naruto, but Jiraiya held her back, shaking his head, signaling it probably wasn't best to go to him now. That very night at Naruto's musty old rundown apartment, room was packing just about the essentials he needed and wouldn't even bother leaving his apartment the next day, otherwise it'd only give the village satisfaction of showing himself in public. All I've ever done, all the times I risked my ass for others, for this village, comes down to me getting banned for something that wasn't my fault, he grumbled. Sucks, doesn't it? A demonic voice rang in his mind. QB? I thought you would be sleeping. I was, but all that ranting at the meeting woke me up. You do realize this is partially your fault? Oh, sure, blame me for everything that's happened, the fox replied sarcastically. Well, hey, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be treated like this. Think again, Naruto. It's like you said to them, they're biased towards anything different. Believe me, I went from multiple vessels before you throughout the centuries, and everyone treated the vessel I was sealed inside of like shit. It's because they're afraid. Afraid? Yes, they know of your potential, and that's why they've suppressed all training and such from you, because they feared if you ever knew how to completely harness my powers, you may end up destroying them, and whatnot. It never was in my plan to destroy anyone in the village, but after this I'd feel very tempted to. However, that'll only prove them right. So what'll you do once you leave? I don't know, but somewhere out there I'll find the answer. The very next day, Tsunade and Shizen had informed Naruto's friends and the Jonin of the situation, and needless to say they were not happy at all. Shikamaru, who many would have assumed was just too troublesome, declared it as an outrage. Chuji was so mad he didn't even think of his stomach. Niji was appalled that the council would just do something like this to a Konoha shinobi who did nothing wrong through their eyes. Kiba was growling up a storm, threatening to wring the council's necks, but was held back by Shino. Lee was crying waterfalls, seeing a fellow dead last who always pushed himself to his peak was getting banished, and vowed to train stronger so that one day he'd be stronger for both their sakes. Ino was outraged at what was happening to Naruto, because deep down she always did have a soft spot for him, and he also loved to garden in his spare time, and anyone who liked flowers were alright in her book. Tenten was enraged that the village she served would treat one of their own ninja like filth. After she saw Naruto defeat Niji in the Chunin exam, she'd grown to respect Naruto, who fought hard against Niji even when the odds were against him. Hinata, however, was just crushed. Her one true love, whom she'd watched from the sides for years, had been banished from the village, and she'd probably never see him again. But she knew she'd have to tell him before it was too late. But the most suffering out of them was Sakura, who couldn't help but feel she was part at fault. If I hadn't made Naruto promise to bring Sasuke back, they both wouldn't have gotten hurt, and Naruto wouldn't be banished. What kind of comrade am I if I let my team fall apart, she thought in sadness. The Jonin weren't taking this too well either, especially Kakashi. Sensei, I've failed to protect a comrade yet again. I'm so sorry. The group wanted to go to Naruto's to visit him, but Tsunade warned them to not to go near him, or the council may arrest them for trying to associate with a ninja about to be banished. Kiba ignored her pleas and tried anyway, only to be blocked by several Umbu guards ordered by Danzo to keep anyone away from Naruto until he left tomorrow. Soon the day had come, and Naruto walked through the village, ignoring the stares and insults that were thrown at him by the villagers. When he reached the gates, he found his fellow genin, Konohamaru, and his friends, the Jonin, Tsunade, Shizen, Jiraiya, Iruka, Tuchi, and I am waiting for him. Guys? Naruto asked. We've come to see you off, Naruto. We're sorry this came to it. Kakashi apologized. Wait, Tevs. Naruto replied as he stood by the gate looking at everyone. Shikamaru spoke. I want you to know, we all know you did nothing wrong. If anything, I should have taken the blame for letting us split up, letting you to deal with Sasuke alone. I appreciate it, Shikamaru, but you can't change what's happened. Naruto answered. I know, it'll troublesome around here without you despite what everyone else says. Then Naruto added. Thanks, man. The two locked fists. Chuji approached. It won't feel the same not having my favorite eating partner with me. I'm sure you'll manage, Chuji. Yeah, I'll have twice as much as I eat, so it'll be like you never left. Chuji promised. You do that. Naruto smiled. I know, Ino, but what can you do? Ino hugged him. You be careful out there, okay? Yeah, Naruto nodded as he approached Kiba. Afraid we'll never have that rematch, Kiba. Well, you'd probably beat me anyway. Kiba replied. Maybe, you never know. Shino approached. I for one believe even if you are banished you will make something new of yourself. Thanks, Shino, this has got to be the first real compliment you've given me. Naruto chuckled. I try. Lee approached. Naruto, I will miss you, dear friend. For you and I are dead last in arms. Thanks, I think, but promise me you'll fulfill your dream and become a great ninja for all dead last's sake. And I will. Lee gave him a thumbs up. Naruto looked to Niji. I'm sorry, Niji. I'll never be able to change the Hyuga clan's ways now that I'm banished. Niji shook his head. No, Naruto, for you've already helped mend the ways between the Hyuga clan when you've opened my eyes to the truth. I'll be the one to change my clan for the sake of both main and branch. Naruto smiled. I know you'll pull it off. He then went to Tenten. Sorry I didn't have as much time to get to know you, Tenten. Thanks. Naruto hugged her back and broke it before Hinata approached. Naruto, she began. Sorry, Hinata, I know how much of an inspiration I've been to you. And leaving has to be hard. I just want you to know, Naruto, I love you. She exclaimed, surprising everyone. I love you so much, and you leaving means I'll never see if we were ever meant to be together. But I just had to let you know. I just had to. She launched herself at Naruto, planting her lips upon his own, kissing him. Naruto was shocked but didn't break contact, while everyone else watching were shocked and surprised at her sudden boldness. When the two broke, Naruto was lost for words. Hinata, you now I get it, that's why you've been so into me. He chuckled. I know I should have come out and told you a long time ago, but I couldn't bring myself to do it before. Hinata drummed her fingers. Well, better late than never, huh? He asked, and she smiled with a nod. Naruto noticed Sakura approach. Naruto, I'm sorry, if I hadn't made you promise to bring Sasuke back, none of this wouldn't have happened. Stop it, Sakura, Naruto replied, this had nothing to do with the promise, I wanted to bring him back as well. Just promise me you'll get stronger so that you can protect the village and everyone where I couldn't. I will, Naruto, I promise, Sakura said, drying her eyes. Naruto then approached his sensei. Well, Kakashi-sensei, I guess this is it. I'm sorry too, Naruto. I should have known better than to trust Sasuke with my Chidori. Even though I've spent more time in training Sasuke, I never did consider him my favorite. I know, sensei, I know, Naruto answered. He looked down, seeing Konohamaru, Udan, and Moegi run up to him crying. Aniki, you can't go, what about our promise? Konohamaru cried. Sorry, Konohamaru, looks like it'll be up to you to become Hokage in my place. Naruto patted his head. I swear, Naruto, I will become the best Hokage there ever was for both of us. The Sarutobi heir promised. And we'll be there to help him. Moegi pumped a fist up. That's right. Udan nodded. Oh, come here, guys. He pulled the three into a group hug as they cried on him. Naruto then stood up and approached Tuchi and Ayam. Sorry, guys, guess you won't be seeing me around the stand anymore. We will miss you, Naruto. We've never had a customer as happy and excited about our food like you are, Tuchi said and thought, damn village council, if I have to close up the shop with my #1 customer leaving, there will be hell to pay. Thanks, Ayam Nizan. Naruto smiled as he approached Irika. Naruto, no matter what happens, I'm proud to have been your sensei, Irika said, choking back some tears. Thanks, Irika-sensei, and here I want you to have this to remember me by. Naruto untied his headband and gave it to him. Naruto. Irika gasped. Since I can't wear it anymore, and it was yours to begin with, you should be the one to have it. Naruto answered. Naruto, I'll never forget you. Never. Irika let some tears out. Naruto then approached Jiraiya. Ero-sen, I'm sorry this happened. I blame myself, Naruto. I promised someone close to me that nothing would happen to you. But I failed him. Jiraiya sighed in guilt. For what it's worth, I'm glad you got to train me, but I guess I should end my link with the toads, huh? Thanks, Naruto said, approaching Tsunade. I'm sorry, Basan. I know you came here to become Hokage thanks to me, and now that I'm leaving it'll seem all for naught. No, Naruto, I'm glad you did what you did bringing me back here, Tsunade began, and one day I'm going to make the council pay and abolish the banishment of you so you can come home. I appreciate it, but I don't think it'll matter. After all, the villagers will never accept me even if the banishment was made null and void. But thanks anyway. He found himself pulled into an embrace by Tsunade, who cried on his shoulder. Just promise me you'll be safe out there, because you're like family to me, Naruto. Same here, Basan. Naruto smiled and suddenly found himself getting pecked on the forehead by her like before. When Tsunade finished, she unzipped his jacket and looked at her grandfather's necklace. Continue to wear it with honor, Naruto, and always remember there are those who love you. Tsunade shed some tears. Naruto looked around, seeing everyone smiling and assuring him that they'll always remember and care about him no matter what. Naruto smiled as he removed his orange jacket and tossed it aside. Thanks everyone, I'll never forget any of you. Goodbye. He turned and started walking. Soon his walking led to jogging, and before you knew it he was running from the village without looking back as tears flowed down his face, having finally unleashed all his bottled up emotions. After Naruto was banished from Konoha, he just kept running and running from the village without looking back, knowing it'd be even harder on him, knowing he could never go back. Soon after reaching the border of the Land of Fire, he had to stop running, knowing he'd gone far enough from his former home. By nighttime he found a nice clearing by a hillside and decided to make camp there until he'd reach a town at least. Naruto, after finishing his camp, sat before his campfire heating up ramen. He then pulled out the scroll Jiraiya gave him before he departed. I guess now's as good a time as any to find out what Erosenin gave me. Knowing him, it's probably more of his books. He signed but nevertheless unsealed the containments of the scroll to find a letter, a picture of the Yondaime Hokage with a beautiful red-haired woman, and some documents. What's this? Naruto asked as he opened up the letter and started reading it. Dear Naruto. My son, if you are reading this, then this means that the sealing went as I planned it, and I perished. If you haven't been told, my name is Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, and your father. I won't blame you if you feel hatred at me for what I caused you. But you must understand, as the Hokage, I couldn't ask someone else to sacrifice their child, not if I had my own. Your mother Kushina Uzumaki came from Yuzushiogakure, and it's gone as of now due to many wars. It was unfortunate she died that night when the Kyuubi invaded, and she always looked forward to being a mother. I hoped you'd be seen as a hero of the village for keeping the Kyuubi locked away, but I'm certain I am wrong. This village and its people are too blind and self-absorbed to see past anything. Anyway, I don't have much time left, the Kyuubi is getting closer. I wish to let you know, my son, that I love you, and that no matter what, I will always love you and be proud of you, as your mother is as well. I've enclosed into this scroll the access to the Namikaze fortune as well as documents to your mother's and her village's history. I've also enclosed all the scrolls containing all my jutsu formulas as well as your mother's records of Fuinjutsu. I'm truly sorry, my son, but I must end this now. I love you, my Naruto, and I hope that you will understand why I did what I did, and hope that one day you'll be able to forgive me, and with these final words I tell you this. You will be different, sometimes you'll feel like an outcast, but you'll never be alone. You will make my strength your own. You will see my life through your eyes, as your life will be seen through mine. The son becomes the father, and the father becomes the son. With love. Minato Namikaze. Naruto trembled upon this realization and thought to himself, I'd been lied to, the council screwed me over more than I thought. They just banished the legacy to their own Hokage, he thought with anger. Shocking, isn't it? You knew, didn't you? You knew all along. True, I did, but let me ask you, Naruto, would you have believed me? Naruto wanted to shout again but backed off, realizing he probably wouldn't have believed it coming from his demon's mouth. I guess I wouldn't have. Precisely. And since we're on the topic now, how would you like a little history lesson, particularly of your mother? What do you know about my mother? Just about everything, for you see, lovely Kushina Uzumaki was my previous vessel. What? Mom was a Jinchuriki too, and with you sealed inside her? Kid, I've been around for centuries. I've had more vessels than you've had ramen cups in your life, the fox explained. Are all Uzumaki burdened to carry you? Burdened is such a harsh word. But anyway, the Uzumaki clan in fact was the clan that created the seal on your belly that imprisoned me. Did the Uzushio nation and Konoha have ties? As a matter of fact, yes. You know the red spiral imprinted on Konoha jackets, and the symbol you had on your jacket before you tossed it? That was the very symbol of the Uzushio nation. Wow, and here I thought it was just a fashion emblem, Naruto joked. Moving on, the ties between the two nations were more than that, because your Shodaime Hokage was in fact married to an Uzushio kunoichi named Mito. The Shodaime was married to an Uzumaki? And everyone acted as if there never were any Uzumakis in existence. God, those assholes love keeping secrets, he growled. And once again, it's worth noting Mito Uzumaki was in fact my vessel before Kushina was. However, when Mito grew too old, the seal had begun to weaken. It was then I was transferred from Mito to Kushina. Naruto looked at the picture contained in the scroll of both his parents, particularly the image of his mother. Mom, you of all people must understand what I went through growing up. But what was it that made you strong to continue living? Naruto thought until he noticed how happy his parents looked together. Was it love? Bingo, give the kid a prize, the fox said in sarcasm. Hey Kyuubi, I was having a moment here. Kid, enough with the Kyuubi crap, my name is Kurama. Kurama? Well, hey, it never occurred to me that all the Bija had real names. Well, now you know, keep an open mind about these things. Alright, I will. Now that that's out of the way, the big question for you, Naruto, is where are you going to go now that you can't go back? I never actually thought of it, Naruto admitted. Well, you have so many places to choose from, don't you, and they all treated you better than Konoha did. True, Naruto thought as he ate his ramen slowly to savor every moment. I could go to Sunna and stay with Gaara, but he's busy managing the village since being elected leader, and I wouldn't want to bother him. Besides, I could probably never get used to the desert heat. I made friends with Shibuki, who leads Takigakure, Hidden Waterfall, but that place seems too hidden for my taste. There's the snow country where Princess Koyoki rules, and she's been very nice after our mission there. But she said the springtime would only be temporary, and that it would be snowy again, and I don't think I could adapt to snowy weather that lasts 24/7. I'm more of a summer or spring guy. And being both ruler of the land and an actress would probably keep her so tied up I probably wouldn't be able to see much of her. Then what about Wave? You're definitely loved there. Yeah, I did make quite an impact on that village, but I wouldn't want a burden to Sunna and all that. Kids, sometimes you can be too nice. Only to those I care about, Naruto answered as he continued eating. Meanwhile, far away inside a cave appeared several apparitions that wore the cloak of the Akatsuki organization. Well, what did you find? Pain, the leader asked. Setsu the spy answered, apparently Naruto Uzumaki has been banished from Konoha. Banished? Kisame Hashigaki asked. Yes, apparently they didn't take kindly to Naruto roughing up their precious Uchiha. Setsu answered in amusement. Well, how about that? Guess the Gaki saved your brother from going to Orochimaru ha Itachi. Deidara the bomber asked while Itachi Uchiha remained silent. This should make things all the more easier for us now that Naruto is no longer protected by Konoha. Haiden said. Agreed, we should catch him right away. Deidara agreed. No! Pain ordered, if we were to seal the Kyuubi before any of the others it would cause the Geto Mizo to shatter. So we must capture the others before him. So we just do nothing with Naruto? Deidara asked in outrage. That is exactly what he means, Deidara. Sasori the puppet master answered. And the time to make these preparations could take a while. Kakuza added. Agreed, so we'll meet back here in 3 years to begin our mission. Until then you're all dismissed. Pain ordered and the apparitions left the cave. The very next morning Naruto was on the road again heading for the next town thinking about all he's learned about his mother and Yuzushiogakure from the history scrolls Jiraiya gave him. Man, I can't believe my mother's side of the family had so many secrets. Having large chakra supply, knowledge of sealing jutsu, longevity, not to mention a unique shade of red hair. Maybe I should dye my hair in that same shade. And what good would that do? Kurama thought. Well, I'd been going by my mother's maiden name for years without even knowing anything about the Uzumaki clan. I think it's time I embraced it. I see. When Naruto reached the next town he wandered around until finding a good-looking lodge. This'll do, and with the entire Namake's fortune at my disposal I can pay for any room I want. And what will you do when it runs out? You don't even have a job. Kurama reminded him. I'll think of something, Kurama, but right now let me relax and think things through. Naruto said as he entered the lodge and purchased a classy room that looked fit for a daimyo. The place was complete with a king-sized bed, mini bar, circular sofa, and a private bathroom complete with a jacuzzi. Naruto laid on the bed while writing up a list. Alright, that should do it. He summoned 5 clones. Okay guys, listen up, go into town and collect me the supplies and all on this list you dig. Hi! The clones nodded before taking the list and headed off for their master. While they're doing that, I'll catch up on my reading. Naruto pulled out a scroll. You're actually studying? Who are you and what have you done with Naruto? Har Kurama, Naruto laughed sarcastically. Now that I'm on my own I have to start taking matters seriously. Just because I'm no longer a ninja of Konoha doesn't mean I should stop training altogether. So then who will you fight for? Kurama asked, knowing the reason he fought was to protect someone close to him as taught by Haku. As of now, myself, Naruto began, at least until I find new people precious to me. Later that day Naruto's clones returned with some essentials including food, tools, new clothes, and hair dye. After a shower Naruto had his clones work in applying red hair dye to his hair and soon was standing in the mirror waist in a towel looking at his hairdo that looked like his old hairstyle only looser and colored scarlet red like his mother's. After changing Naruto stood dressed in a new outfit, composed of black shinobi sandals, dark green cargo shorts, and a red short-sleeved shirt covered by a black flak vest left unzipped. First step in a new life, changed my look, Naruto said while straightening his vest, and now to find me a place to have dinner. Naruto walked through the town finding some place to get something to eat. As he walked he noticed some of the teenage girls were taking glances at him, and blushing. Naruto could hear some light gossip amongst them, hearing words like, cutie, hottie, handsome, and even sexy. Where was this back in Konoha? He thought to himself but pressed on, eventually finding a ramen stand and started ordering. By the time he was finished he covered 20 bowls. The chef whistled, I haven't seen a customer clear that many in under an hour, you must have a bottomless stomach, kid. Actually, I just have a large appetite. Naruto joked and they laughed. I just hope you can cover this bill. The chef replied, ready to be paid. Naruto shipped out plenty of money, surprising the chef, and spoke, will this do? That night Naruto was in bed sleeping peacefully until he rolled onto his side facing the balcony window until a red glow shined on his face, making him groan before he woke up seeing the red glow come from his window. What's that? He looked up into the night sky, seeing something red falling from it, and saw it crashed with a rumble right outside the town into the forest surrounding it. Whoa! He fell back from the earthquake. What the hell was that thing? He asked, getting back up. You're going to check it out, aren't you? Kurama asked. After witnessing what happened, how can I not? Naruto asked as he got dressed and jumped out his balcony window heading out to the forest. As he ran through the forest trying to determine where it landed, Kurama spoke, "Naruto, stop." Naruto halted. "Kurama, what's up?" "Can you feel it? Because I can." Naruto concentrated and started feeling a sensation emanating from the ground below. "You're right, I do feel it. But what is it?" "I don't know, so be careful and follow the trail." Naruto nodded to himself as he followed the trail of energy and started hearing a very high-frequency shriek, or something. He followed it all the way to a small drop in the woods where he noticed a giant hole in the ground. He stopped before it and looked down it, seeing nothing but dark. "It landed here," he said, and looked around, seeing no one else was coming. "Guess everyone in town must be a heavy sleeper," he said, noticing no one else had shown up since he arrived or made it here before he did. "Well, no one can tell me what to do now, so I'll check it out myself," Naruto said as he grabbed a rope and tied it to a tree as he slowly climbed down the hole, landing at the bottom. Naruto could feel the damp air on his skin and heard the shrieking sound that led him to the hole, sounding louder underground. He wandered through the cavern, going through multiple twists and turns, using a spare rope he used as a trail to lead him back to the opening so he wouldn't get lost underground. "Whatever's down here is close, I can feel it," Kurama said. "Yes, so do I," Naruto agreed as he continued following the trail until he saw a faint red glow coming from around a corner. He followed it until he reached the corner and entered another chamber, suddenly noticing the red glow was turning bright blue as if his presence was causing it to happen. He looked ahead and found a startling object. The source of the glow was from a really big crystalline object. It almost looked like a giant mutated heart with black veins running through it, and there was blood on the ground near it. "Whoa," Naruto gasped. "Kurama, what do you think it is?" "I have no idea," the demon fox admitted, "but I feel like it's alive." Naruto slowly approached it while whipping out a kunai for safety. As he approached, he noticed the black veins were pulsing and moving. When he reached out to touch it, to his surprise it went back to the red-crimson glow like before, along with the eerie shriek. "Gah!" Naruto groaned as he clutched his head in pain as the sound was driving his ears crazy. And if that wasn't enough, his nose started leaking blood, while his head was pounding like mad. "What the hell's happening?" He shouted in pain and was suddenly pushed back off his feet and crashed into the wall by an unknown force that came from the pulsating object. "Naruto, you've got to get out of here now," Kurama ordered. "You don't have to tell me twice," Naruto said as he started running back the way he came, following the trail of rope while he still held onto his head in pain. When he found the opening, he climbed up the rope and made it out before panting for air. "What the hell was that all about?" Naruto asked while rubbing the back of his head to ease his headache. "I don't know, I've never felt anything like that before in my life," Kurama added. "But Naruto, how do you feel?" "I feel like shit from that splitting headache," Naruto admitted as he tried whipping some of the blood from his nose off only to stain his own hand. "I gotta get out of here." He tried to walk but felt weakened from the mental pain he experienced down in the hole and didn't even make one step before falling onto his back and laid unconsciously on the grass next to the hole. When morning came, Naruto woke up from the sun shining down on his face. He groaned while clutching his head, almost as if he was experiencing a hangover while sitting straight up. "What the hell am I doing out here?" he groaned while whipping his hand across his nose and noticed dry blood. He suddenly looked at the hole and remembered everything. "That's right. Kurama, are you okay?" "I'm fine, Naruto, what about you?" "I don't know, my head still hurts from last night." "Did that thing in the hole do something to me?" "Other than give you a massive headache and nosebleed, I don't see any exterior injuries." "Wait. Do not be stupid, boy. After what that thing caused you down there, I don't think going back to it is such a good idea." "Then what do you suggest I do?" Naruto asked, open for suggestions. "Bottle that hole up so no one else finds out what's down there. Call me crazy, but I got a feeling there's more to that thing than both you and I know." Naruto was thinking Kurama was crazy but knew he had no place to argue with a demon who existed since the dawn of existence with centuries of knowledge at his disposal, along with the fact he himself couldn't risk someone else finding that object and experiment on it. "Alright, I'll close it off." Naruto drew a paper bomb-wrapped kunai and tossed it in the hole, setting it off, causing the hole to cave and blocking off the tunnels and all. "Okay, it's done, and now I'm going back to town." He started walking but limped, still tired and exhausted from what happened. "You spent a whole night sleeping in the woods, how much more do you need?" Kurama asked rhetorically. "I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer," he said, falling asleep. About an hour later, Naruto felt his brain responding to something, and when his eyes slowly opened he saw several things in his room was floating in midair. Such things included a bowl of fruit, some coasters, scrolls, and his ninja kunai and shuriken. "Whoa!" Naruto gasped at the sight as everything suddenly fell to the ground with a thud or crash. "What the hell was that?" he cried. He looked around, seeing no sign of any enemies in the room, so it couldn't have been anyone else. "Did I imagine it?" he asked, but deep down felt he wasn't imagining it. "I wouldn't be so sure, because I saw it too," Kurama replied. "But how were they floating?" "I'm not sure, but while you were sleeping I felt your brain muscles were shifting. Brain muscles? Yes, you dolt, just about every point in your body has muscle and not just your arms, legs, or torso. Well, sorry, studying wasn't my specialty, Naruto replied as he got up and walked to his mini-fridge, reaching out to open it but suddenly opened on its own, making Naruto jump back. Automatic open? He asked. I don't think so, Kurama answered. Weird, Naruto said as he reached out to grab a beverage only for the beverage to come flying into his hand, freaking him out even more. Okay, what the hell's going on here? Naruto, when you reached out to open the fridge, was your mind solely focused on the fridge itself? Of course it was, Naruto answered like he was being asked a stupid question. And for the drink, were you focusing on it alone? Yes, what is your point? Naruto asked in irritation. I have this feeling you were able to move those objects, and your drink using only your mind. What, like I'm psychic? Naruto asked. That's exactly the point, and the method is called telekinesis. Try it again on something but focus only on that object. Naruto looked around and spotted the apple on the floor. He held his hand out like he was going to take the apple but moved his hand upward, and to his surprise the apple was following along with it as it was being lifted up by an invisible hand extending from Naruto's palm. Oh my god, I'm levitating an apple! He cheered while noticing he was doing nothing with his left hand. Wonder if both work? He held his other hand out, levitating an orange up. Both my arms can do this. I can't believe it! Naruto chuckled excitedly as he tried levitating more stuff up only to get a nosebleed. Oh god! Naruto stopped levitating the objects to cover his nose. He ran to the bathroom, grabbing some tissue to dry the blood on his nose. What was that about? Clearly that nosebleed is a sign of overexerting your brain's limit, Kurama said. A limit? Naruto asked. Kurama sighed. You need to find a library. Huh? Naruto asked, but rather than continue to question, Kurama left the room and walked through town to find the nearest library, unaware of being spied upon by 5 Anbu ninja. There he is. Almost didn't notice him because of his hair color, one Anbu said. Remember Danzo-sama's orders, eliminate him and leave no trace, another added. Shall we go now? A third asked. No, too many people around, we'll wait until he's alone, a fourth replied. Still, we have to monitor his movement, the fifth said as they started following while remaining hidden. And somehow that thing in the hole must have affected your brain, enabling you to access more of your brain power to an extent an average human can't use, Kurama added. According to the book, the brain can function like a muscle, is like all other muscles, gets stronger over time and the more you use it. Yes, however, in a regular human's case, the brain can only get better by increasing your knowledge and perception of things. And in your case, having more access to your brain can exercise it through the use of using it on smaller things and working your way up so you don't end up getting countless nosebleeds. But how strong do you think my brain can get? The human brain is unpredictable, I'm afraid, even to a demon like me, Kurama answered. Wonder if I should tell this to Basan or Erosenin? No, I don't want them to start worrying more about me than they already are. Keeping it a secret, huh? So you think I should tell them? No way. If somehow word got out to Konoha you are learning telekinesis, the council may send assassins after you or try and use you against your will. True, then it's decided I won't tell anyone from Konoha what happened to me in that hole. Now then, I think it's time I started testing my new ability out, Naruto thought as he stood up, returned the book, and left the library. Naruto was wandering the town's shopping district looking for something to try his power out on. He noticed a standing selling stuffed animals and a little girl was looking at a stuffed giraffe. Bingo, he said to himself with a smirk as he focused his gaze on a big stuffed teddy bear and used his mind to make it move, and having been made of stuffing and fluff, moving it was no trouble at all for his brain. He made the teddy bear float down to the little girl, making it wave its arms like it was going to attack the kid. The girl screamed in fright as she ran to her mom, who was talking to someone. Mommy! Mommy! That teddy's alive! She exclaimed as she and her mom looked, seeing the teddy bear lie on the floor lifeless as it should be. But I saw it, Mommy, I really saw it, the girl pleaded. Not now, honey, the woman replied. Naruto chuckled to himself at the stunt he pulled as Kurama spoke. You're enjoying this, aren't you? And you're not? Come on, if I had this kind of talent when I was an academy student, I would have been more of a prankster master than I've already made myself out to be, Naruto thought. And be hauled off to be experimented on if you did have that ability back then, Kurama reminded him. I guess, Naruto admitted as he looked around wondering what else he should test his power on. He then spotted a man managing a melon cart who was busy talking with another. Watch Kurama, he thought as he concentrated his eyes on the cart and made it move away from the cart owner. He moved it about a shop away until he felt his nose bleed and stopped moving it to clean his nose with tissue. He chuckled quietly as the melon shop owner saw his cart had gotten further away from him but saw no one around close enough to have moved it while he wasn't looking. Perhaps you should go elsewhere before you get spotted? Kurama suggested. Yeah, you're right, Naruto agreed as he walked off casually, still unaware of being watched. Did you happen to notice those phenomena happening around Uzumaki? One of the Umbu asked. Yes, our record showed he had no ability such as that. The second added. He must have learned to manipulate the air around him such as most wind elemental jutsu users are capable of. The third theorized. But to do that without using any hand signs? The fourth stated, catching their attention. Shall we inform Danzo-sama of this? The fifth suggested. Let's see where he goes before we report. The first said as they continued to follow him. Naruto went back to the clearing in the woods and started practicing his levitating ability on some small rocks. But when he tried using it on more medium-sized rocks he got a nosebleed. Don't overexert yourself so hastily, Naruto, or you'll die from blood loss, Kurama warned him. I know, man, exercising my brain power is harder than my regular exercises. Naruto thought back until a thought came to him. Wait a minute, I remember reading the Shadow Clone Jutsu allows training to go by faster with the more I use. They can train as much as they can, and when dispelled the knowledge comes back to me. I wonder if they also train using the telekinesis, I'll get stronger at it faster? Maybe you'll die faster if they all get monstrous nosebleeds at the exact same time, Kurama added. I'm just keeping my options open here, Kurama, Naruto replied until he froze, feeling he was about to be attacked. He spun around seeing some shuriken were about to nail him, but he used his telekinetic ability to repel them. Naruto, in that tree, Kurama ordered. Naruto looked, seeing the big tree Kurama had motioned him to look at. He summoned a dozen shadow clones, each drawing a kunai, and threw them in the direction of the tree, hearing them nail the bark of the tree. I missed, Naruto cursed. Well, they're coming in a frontal attack, Kurama thought. Naruto saw the Umbu ninja come at him from all sides. His natural instinct told him his best choice of defense was to use Kawarimi, but on a new instinct instead crossed his arms in front of his body and forcibly spread them apart as the root Umbu were repelled from Naruto and forced back on all sides. Naruto got a bit of a nosebleed from that last move but ignored it and jumped onto a nearby boulder, looking at his attackers. You aren't regular Umbu ninja. They only serve Tsunade-Basan and she never ordered them to attack me, Naruto declared. Very perceptive, the third Umbu said as the group got up. We are Umbu of the Root faction under orders of Danzo-sama to eliminate you, Uzumaki, Naruto, for the sake of Konoha and the ninja land, the first explained. Naruto's eyes twitched upon that name. So getting me banished wasn't enough, he sent you to kill me? He growled with his telekinetic power responding to his anger, making the rock he was standing on crack a little. You are a danger to the ninja land, and therefore must be put out of your misery, the second Umbu replied. Naruto frowned as his eyes were turning red and his whiskers marks were becoming darker. He extended his arms out and put them together, which caused the Umbu group to come together, stuck like they were magnetized to each other. How about I put you all out of your miseries instead? Naruto asked as he was clenching his fists, still holding the group together, who started to cry in pain as they felt their bodies were being crushed inside and out. As Naruto continued torturing them using his telekinetic ability, his nose started to bleed but didn't stop to clean it as he finally motioned his wrists like he was twisting something and heard the necks of the Umbu snap. Naruto, overexerting his telekinetic ability, and from blood loss fainted, releasing his grip on the now dead Umbu. Inside Naruto's subconscious, the boy laid before Kurama's cage on his back unconsciously as the fox looked down on him. I warned him about overexerting himself, but does he listen? No, he sighed. That power of his seems more trouble than it was worth for himself, and those around him, unless he learns to control his emotions. Suddenly Kurama saw a glow come from the seal on his cage that took the form of two glowing apparitions. One had a yellow glow on his head and appeared to be wearing a long coat, and the second appeared to have a long red glow going down the back. What, you two? Kurama gasped. The apparitions stood before Naruto and bent over with a hand from each laying on the boy's cheeks. Naruto twitched from the touch as his eyes opened halfway, seeing two hazy apparitions before him, but noticed the yellow and red glow from them each. Who's there? Wait a minute, are you two finally awake? The doctor asked. What? Naruto's eyes blinked as he shot up, but the nurse gently held him back a bit. Easy there, you don't want to overdo it, she insisted. What happened? How did I get here? Naruto asked, looking around his hospital room. Some campers found you passed out in the woods outside town. Your nose was covered in your own blood, the doctor explained. Naruto thought, remembering all that happened, and asked, was anybody else with me? Actually, 5 Umbu guards were found dead near you. What happened out there? The nurse asked. Naruto had to think fast, so he told them a quick lie. Actually, I don't remember much. They appeared before me and told me to get down, and in a flash I blacked out. They must have been after something or someone. Logical, but how come they were dead and only you were passed out with a bloody nose? The doctor asked curiously. Just lucky, I guess, Naruto answered, making things up as he went along. Definitely lucky. Whoever attacked those Umbu really wrung their necks, the doctor said as Naruto still remembered what happened. Well, you just rest easy now and we'll be right back, the nurse said as the two left. Naruto was then alone and could communicate with Kurama in peace. Kurama, did I really? Yes, Naruto, you did. You killed those root Umbu using your power, though it was more dangerous for you having been using it while you were in a state of anger. Hey, can you blame me when they told me why they were ready to try and assassinate me? Actually, I can. What? Naruto asked in shock that his own demon wasn't siding with him. That old geezer Danzo was right about one thing with you, Naruto: you are unable to control your emotions. Naruto wanted to argue back but knew if he continued arguing back from easy agitation it would only prove Kurama's and Danzo's point. So what can I do? You can start by not letting your emotions get the better of you. You mean to stop feeling anything? Naruto asked in outrage. I'm not asking you to suppress your emotions like that Zabuza was able to, only to better control your emotions, specifically your anger, the fox explained, because if you act out of anger in the same way you did against those Umbu around innocent lives, your power will put anyone who comes near you in danger. Naruto thought about this and realized it was true. He did let his anger get the better of him in more ways than one, from when he thought Sasuke died at the hands of Haku, when Neji belittled him in the Chunin exam finals, to even the petty irritation of when Sasuke was always treated better during the academy years. You're right, Kurama, this power of mine is dangerous, he began, and if I'm not careful it could cause harm to the innocent, especially if I use it out of anger. If I'm gonna use it, I'll need to be in better control with it, and with my emotions. You're starting to see reason. What an enormous step for you, Kurama gave a sarcastic cheer. Okay, don't start mocking me now, Naruto replied. Sorry, but you know there's a problem now. When Danzo eventually finds out his Umbu have been murdered, he'll start sending more to kill you, Kurama reminded him. I should tell Basen, but would that make a difference since there's no way we can trace this back to Danzo for her? He'll be sure to have alibi. If you did tell her, you'd have to come up with another lie about how they died, and knowing how keen she is, she'd see right through your lies. Yes, she'd probably send some of her own Umbu to keep tabs on me, and I'll really feel like I'm being watched, Naruto added. So what'll you do? I'll keep it in the dark from her for now, but if it gets too dangerous for me, I'll let her know. And who knows, if I continue to get my mind stronger so I can use my telekinesis without overexerting myself, I could take on as many root Umbu Danzo sends after me. Don't get ahead of yourself, after all there are bigger problems out there you should be weary of, or did you forget the people your perverted sensei warned you about? The Akatsuki organization? Naruto recalled. Yes, you remember the two you ran into that time. Itachi Uchiha practically destroyed his brother's mind using his Mangekyo ability, and Kisame Hashigaki cut your chakra in half with his sword that devoured it. Do you think you'd stand a chance against them or more of them even with your power? Kurama continued to question him. Obviously not, and Ero-sennin would want me to train to protect myself from him even if he wasn't there with me. Alright, then I'll just get stronger for both our sakes, for if they remove you I could very well go down with you. Then I suggest you hightailing it out of this town before Danzo gets word of his Umbu dead, Kurama suggested. Right, but before I leave I'm gonna need a cloak. Soon enough Naruto left the hospital and headed back to the hotel to collect his things. After checking out he went and purchased a brown cloak and headed to the edge of town wearing it with the hood up. Well, Kurama, from this point on I have to learn how to control this power of mine for both our sakes. I don't know what other dangers will cross our paths, but we'll face them together. Don't go getting all nostalgia on me, Naruto, please, Kurama replied. Afraid of being sentimental? Naruto teased. Shut up. Naruto chuckled as he started walking down the path leaving town as he thought to himself, those two people I saw before me. I know it had to be them, but how? A week had passed since Naruto left that one town determined to harness his newfound power as best as he possibly could. During the course of that week he continued to hone his psychic power and his ninja skills. Thanks to the jutsu formulas from Jiraiya he started training in all 5 elements. But the element he excelled in was wind jutsu due to the fact he learned he had the wind element thanks to the chakra paper that was included in the scroll. And to top it off, from the scroll he learned the formula for his dad's Horatian technique, which would allow him to teleport to any destination he marked with his formula. In terms of his psychic power he continued practicing with it to improve his control. And time to time he would use it for a joke or two that wasn't dangerous. Currently Naruto was by a stream doing push-ups with 10 clones joining him, so he's getting more effort into his exercise, and 200. Naruto announced as he finished his go, followed by his clones. Alright boys, take 5. He ordered his clones, that dispelled transferring all their effort back to him. Naruto toweled off and used his power to bring a bottle of water over to him, and he drank it, another successful workout. He stretched his arms. And to think you've been at it for only a week, Kurama replied. I think the true purpose of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto replied, everything they learn or whatever effort they put into training comes right back to me when they dispel. And considering how much chakra it requires along with stamina to make one shadow clone, not many can produce the amount of clones you're capable of creating unless they want to drain their chakra in one go. Exactly, Naruto said as he finished his water. You know, Kurama, there's something I've been wondering about my power. What about it? I know I have power to use it to move things from one place to another, but do you think it's possible I can use it on myself? On yourself? Yeah, just hear me out. What if I can use my power over levitation to float myself from one place to another? In other words, fly. Kurama caught on. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure, but granted we don't know the full capabilities that object granted you, I suppose it could be possible. Then let's put it to a test. Naruto got back up and stood in the open space by the hill. Just have to concentrate on myself. Naruto concentrated as some of the pebbles down by his feet were slowly levitating up from his brain power. When Naruto made a takeoff attempt, he hovered for a second before losing control. OHSHIT. He fell flat on his face. Ow. Real good eating dirt, Naruto. Kurama said sarcastically. Oh, shut up, Naruto grumbled as he got back up. Another try. He concentrated and started levitating up until he was off the ground and was levitating up till he reached the tree's height. Naruto, you're actually doing it. Kurama gasped. I know, I'm flying. Naruto chuckled as he put his arms on the back of his head, relaxing as he floated around the tree. Oh, this is so cool. I know someone ninja like Temari could know how this feels, but I'm not even using chakra to do this. Hey, I wonder if I can go any higher than this. Whoa, Naruto, let's not be hasty, Kurama injected. If you went up too high and your power suddenly gave out, you could fall to your death. I could just summon the chief toad so he could catch me, Naruto replied. Wishful thinking. However, do you really think Gamabunta would be thrilled if you summoned him just so he could break your fall? Kurama countered. Naruto realized since Bunta was a grouchy type when it came to be summoned for petty reasons wouldn't be pleased, yet he wouldn't take it so kindly. But still, the idea of flying through the sky past the clouds sounds cool. To a point maybe, but let me tell you kid, flying too high could be one's undoing. Yeah? How do you figure? Naruto asked curiously. You ever hear of the tale of Icarus? No, who's that? It's the tale of a boy who sought freedom by flying using wings his father created of wax and feathers. The boy ignored the warnings of not to fly too close to the sun, and because he did, the wax melted and his wings were destroyed, causing him to fall into the sea where he drowned. I see, but Icarus didn't have psychic power, Naruto replied, and Kurama sighed. The point I am trying to make here, boy, is that when one tries to aim too high using a cocky attitude, they'll crash and burn harder when they fall down. I see your point. Well, I won't be cocky when using it then, nor will I fly into the sun, Naruto answered. Kurama sighed, hoping he really meant that. Well, I'd better get a move on. I shouldn't stay in one place for so long, especially out in the open like this. He flew downward but couldn't pull up fast enough and crashed on his face. That sucked. Meanwhile, in Konoha, in the Root's underground lair, Danzo stood before one of his men. What? My Root ninja were killed? I'm afraid so, Danzo-sama. All 5 of them had their necks wrung. The ninja explained. How did this happen? Danzo's one eye squinted. We're not quite sure, but do you perhaps think it was Uzumaki? Preposterous. That Kyuubi brat wouldn't have had the strength to fight my Umbu, nor would he have been fast enough to call on the demon's power before they could attack. Danzo interrupted skeptically. What do we do now? The Umbu asked. Send another 5 to follow the trail from the town Naruto was last seen, and fan out from there. He must be eliminated for the ninja land's sake, Danzo ordered. Yes, sir. The Umbu left his superior. Danzo thought, I do not know how you were able to avoid my Umbu Kyuubi brat, but I will find you and eliminate you. Back with said boy, he was flying through the sky past the clouds, cheering and hollering, "Oh yeah." He cheered, "This is a lot easier than I thought." He did some flips and loops. I may never walk again. I wouldn't recommend that, Naruto. If you stop exercising your legs, they'll become so shot you won't be able to stand at all. Kurama voiced his opinion. Just a thought, Kurama, Naruto replied, because I'm so excited. How many ninja out there can actually fly in the sky to his altitude? An IWA and tiny old man sitting at his desk sneezed. Do you require cold medicine, Sachikage-sama? A guard asked. I don't need no medicine because I don't have a cold. The old fence-sitter bellowed until his back cracked, but I could use some ointment for my back. He groaned in pain. At once, the guard left the old man. Back with Naruto, he was flying through a cloud, passing a flock of seagulls, making one of the seagulls squawk in shock seeing a human flying right alongside it. Naruto, noticing that, waved, "Hi there, first-time flyer," he said before gliding downward a bit, and did some twirls. You know the best part of this, Kurama? If I fly this high up and at this speed, none of Danzo's Umbu will be able to stay on my tail, Naruto said as he continued picking up speed just for fun. Whatever you say. As Naruto continued flying closer so he could see the land, spotted another town up ahead. I should probably stop and restock on supplies and food. He was going down further until he heard a scream. Uh-oh, could be trouble. He flew downward to the forest outside the nearby village and hid in a tree, looking until he spotted something. A young girl about Naruto's age was tied to a tree and surrounded by 3 enemy ninja with one standing before her. The girl had dark green eyes, a widow's peak, mid-back length dark blonde hair, and a very sizable bust. She wore a light violet and white top, black shorts, a black skirt, black high boots and light violet wristbands. The ninjas surrounding her bore aim headbands while the lead one had green hair and an umbrella on his back. Whoa, that girl looks hot. Wait, she's also in trouble, Naruto said to himself until he focused on the leading aim ninja and gasped. Wait a minute, I've seen that face before in the bingo book. His name is Aoi Rokusho, a Jonin level nuke from Konoha. Tricked another Konoha ninja into stealing the Night-Aim Hokage's Raijin sword for him and fled the village. Naruto recalled. Naruto, are you about to do what I think you're about to do? Kurama asked. If you think I'm about to save that girl, then you're right. And why? You don't know that girl. Yeah, maybe I don't, but she doesn't deserve to be killed by slime like that. Naruto motioned to Aoi. Kurama sighed, seeing there was no stopping him, answered, do what you gotta do. And I will. Naruto pulled his cloak's hood up to keep his face covered. Back with the girl, she was nervous as the ninja Aoi pulled out a sword hilt that suddenly charged up with lightning chakra. Normally I kill a witness, but seeing as how you came with 2 Kiri shinobi, I can make use of you by ransoming you. You'll pay for this. The girl frowned. No, you stupid girl, your comrades will pay me for your safety. Aoi snickered. Naruto was hiding behind a tree but peeked around and saw a stick by the back of the 2 other aim ninjas. Extending his second and third right-hand fingers at the stick, he levitated it up a bit and moved it forward, poking one of them in the ass with it. The ninja turned around but saw no one as Naruto quickly hit again. The ninja turned around as Naruto levitated the stick again and poked the other ninja, who turned around seeing nothing like the first one did. Okay, now it's time for part 2. Luring them here, he thought as he used his powers to make some leaves swirl like a small cyclone, like it was the Shunshin ability, making it look like somebody was ready to appear. The 2 other ninja, hearing the leaves, looked back, seeing the cyclone. Hey boss. One of the ninjas spoke to Aoi. What is it? Aoi asked, irritated by his subordinate's interruption on interrogating the girl. I think something's here, the ninja said. Then go deal with it, Aoi ordered. The 2 aim ninja nodded as they crept to where the leaf cyclone was drawing their umbrella weapons. As they got close to the little leaf cyclone, the leaves suddenly fell. What was that about? One asked his partner. No clue, he replied as they looked around behind the tree and saw nothing, much to their confusion. Suddenly they screamed as they were suddenly lifted up off the ground by nothing and into the tree. Hearing them scream, Aoi spun around, seeing his boys were gone. Guys? He held the Raijin sword ready for anything, and suddenly the leaves on the ground started swirling around him. Getting on defense, he swung the lightning weapon, slicing any leaves around him, but they were so small he couldn't slice all of them, and they started piling onto his body and getting into his face. Get off! He spat up some leaves while using his free hand to try and rip some off him, but more just stuck to him. The girl watched in shock, wondering what could be doing this, until she heard something, PST. She looked back as much as she could, seeing Naruto putting a finger to his lips, motioning her to keep quiet. She did so as Naruto started cutting her free. When she was freed, she ran around hiding behind Naruto, feeling much safer behind the one who freed her. Aoi suddenly saw his captive free through the bits of leaves that weren't covering his eyes. Hey! Don't you know it's not nice to pick on girls? Naruto asked. What the hell did you do to my men? Aoi demanded. See for yourself, Naruto said as Aoi turned, seeing a shadow clone of Naruto levitated down his subordinates who were tied up and knocked out. Who are you? Aoi growled. Let's just say I'm a Nukenin's predator. Naruto smirked under his hood. Don't talk shit with me, boy, unless you want to die. Aoi stood, aiming the Raijin sword at Naruto. That doesn't belong to you, Naruto said, motioning to the sword. And how would you know? Aoi questioned him. Because that's the Night-Aim Hokage's Raijin sword, and I'd like you to give it to me. Naruto held his hand out, expecting to get it. How about I give you a taste of its power? Aoi offered as he ran for Naruto, aiming to stab him, but suddenly froze and was being lifted into the air. Hey, what the hell? He noticed the shadow clone held his hand out and was using telekinesis to levitate him up. If you don't mind, I will be taking that. The real Naruto extended his hand up and used his power to pull the Raijin sword from Aoi's hand as it landed in Naruto's hand. Yoink. Give me that, Aoi demanded. How about I give you a little of this? Naruto extended his hand, using his force, pushing Aoi backwards through the air as he crashed head first into the tree, hard enough to knock him unconscious. With that, the clone tied Aoi with his 2 men and dispelled, with the real one looking at the girl. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine, she admitted in awe at what just happened. What was with these 3 and you anyway? I'm traveling with some allies of mine. We were on a mission to gather intel. I was supposed to have met back up with them 10 minutes ago until Aoi and his goons jumped me, she explained. I tried fighting back as hard as I could, but they were too much for me. Well, you're just lucky I showed up when I did, the boy replied. I am. By the way, what's your name? She asked. It's common courtesy to introduce yourself first, at least that's what I've been told. Naruto replied, remembering Sasuke used it before on Niji when they first met at the beginning of the Chunin exams. Well, alright, my name's Hataru, and you? Naruto smirked under his hood and answered, Naruto, it's very nice to meet you, Hataru. He shook her hand, making her blush. Hataru! A voice called. The two looked, seeing two ninja wearing Kiri headbands drop in. One was an adult wearing an eye patch, and the second was a boy Naruto's age with blue hair and carried a sword with two handles wrapped in cloth, which made Naruto think of Kisame not just from the headband alone, but from the sword wrapped in cloth. Are you okay? The boy asked as the two spotted Naruto. Who's this? The man asked, noticing the hilt in his hand, thinking he was going to attack. Did he try to hurt you? He asked, ready to strike while Naruto was prepared to defend himself, only for Hataru to shield her rescuer. Ao, stop, he didn't do anything. The man named Ao stood down, not wanting to hurt Hataru in the process. What do you mean, Hataru? The blue-haired boy asked. Chujiro, this boy saved me from these three shinobi. Hataru motioned to Aoi and his boys tied up. The two looked at Naruto, who nodded, and they stood down. We're sorry for suspecting you, Ao began. Hataru is still training in the art of ninja. Her master requested we take her on this mission, hoping it would improve her ninja senses. What it really is was an excuse to get rid of me. Hataru crossed her arms under her well-developed chest, making Naruto blush. He was thankful his hood was covering enough of his face so they wouldn't notice. I believe introductions are in order? Naruto asked. Hataru realized, oh yes, of course. Naruto, this is Ao, and Chujiro, guys, this is Naruto. Nice to meet you too. Naruto bowed his head. Likewise. Chujiro bowed his head. I will bow my head once you remove your hood. After all, it's hard to trust someone whose face you cannot see, Ao said on guard. Naruto, hearing that, debated on whether or not to, but he didn't want to go and start making enemies again by being non-cooperative. Very well. He removed his hood, and Hataru blushed at the sight of the handsome guy who just rescued her. That scarlet red hair, those ocean blue eyes, those whisker marks. Kawaii, the busted girl thought. Sorry to sound doubtful, but how did one boy like yourself take on these three AIM ninja without getting an injury? Ao questioned him. They couldn't touch me, Naruto answered. What? Chujiro asked. You shout V. Seen him, he stopped their leader in mid-air and forced him to crash into the tree. Hataru explained. Mid-air? Ao asked, hoping Hataru wasn't talking nonsense while looking at Naruto, wanting an answer. Let's just say I'm very skilled at wind manipulating, Naruto explained. What village are you associated with? Ao asked cautiously. None. None? Chujiro asked. Yup, I'm a traveling ninja. I have no specific loyalties to any village or nation leader, he explained. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to turn these three into the nearest bounty office and collect some fee. Naruto motioned to the three AIM ninja. Of course, though Naruto, if you can, I'd like to make a request of you, Ao said. A request? Naruto asked. Ao nodded. When you turn them in and collect your fee, would you please come back with us to Kiri to meet our Mizukage? Naruto was taken aback. See your village leader, and for what reason? He crossed his arms. Just so she could properly thank you for helping Hataru. She does value all her devoted ninja, Ao explained. I see, Naruto answered and thought, Kurama, should I go along with them? You probably should, unless you want to dishonor these two shinobi's act of standing down rather than attack you. Hell, you can fly off if they gang up on you anyway, Kurama replied. Right, he spoke. Alright, then I'll join you. Then let us show you to the nearest bounty office, Chujiro offered. Arigato, Naruto said as the four walked with Hataru walking closest to Naruto, making him blush. Man, this girl's cute. I wonder if she's single? Kid, you know it'd be hard for you to maintain a relationship seeing as how you are a banished ninja and are wandering to stay alive. Just a thought, Kurama, Naruto chuckled. How's it going, readers? It's been a few days since I worked on this, but now I'm back in the making. Let's see how well things go for Naruto and Kiri. In the nearest town, Naruto dropped Aoi and his two goons off at the nearest bounty office and collected his fee. I sure made a bundle off these three. If I knew bounty hunting was this profitable, I would have trained solely for this purpose in my ninja life, he said to himself. Hey, maybe the Akatsuki members have bigger bounties than this. Don't get ahead of yourself, Naruto. After all, compared to the Akatsuki members, Aoi was just a small helping, as you've seen from both Itachi and Kisame, Kurama thought. I know, Naruto replied as he left the office with Ao, Chujiro, and Hotaru waiting for him. Alright, I'm done. Take me to your Mizukage. Follow us, Ao instructed as they headed for the docks and caught a boat ride bound for Kiri. That night, as the boat was slowly crossing the waters, Naruto was using his power to levitate some coins in his palm. How can you really do that? Chujiro asked, approaching with Hataru. I told you I'm a wind manipulator, Naruto replied. But you haven't done any hand signs or anything, Chujiro noticed. I'm a very special case, so I don't have to use hand signs. Believe me, I've seen my fair share of ninjas with unique abilities ranging from natural to bloodline, Naruto explained, remembering Haku. Well, you got me there, Chujiro admitted. By the way, Chujiro, what's with that thing you got wrapped on your back? Naruto noticed. Oh, this is my sword Hiramikari. I was given this when I was selected to become a new member of the Seven Swordsmen. Naruto's eyes widened hearing that title. Did you say Seven Swordsmen? Yeah, why is that a problem for you? Chujiro asked. Oh no, not at all, it's just I ran into someone months ago who came from the same team, Naruto explained. What? Who? Just about every member of the original Seven Swordsmen disbanded years ago, for Chujiro began, but Naruto finished. A failed assassination of a feudal lord. Yeah, that's what I heard. You know of a tall guy named Zabuza? Zabuza Momochi? You met him? The blue-haired boy gasped. Oh yeah, and I honestly wish I could say I fought him, but I didn't. Instead, I fought a partner of his who utilized a bloodline ability known as Hayatan. Whoa, Naruto, what was it like standing in the presence of the demon of the Kiri? Well, I felt the area around me go cold along with mist coming with him. And that giant sword of his was too good to be real, but you know, for the demon of Kiri he wasn't a total heartless. What do you mean? Hataru asked while Chujiro was confused. He may have the reputation as a cold-hearted killer, but deep down he had honor and love for his partner, Naruto answered as he had a flashback to the battle on the bridge in Wave months ago. Zabuza turned to Naruto after realizing Haku never did kill Sasuke Uchiha with his Senbon. Hey kid, Naruto looked at Zabuza, seeing tears in his eyes. Your words cut deep, deeper than any blade. All that stuff I said about Haku being nothing more than my tool and weapon, I lied. I did care about him, I loved him like he was my own son. I thank you for helping me remember that, and to make up for what I've done. I'm going to help you. Zabuza used what energy he had to pull the bandage off his mouth. Can you spare a weapon? Naruto smiled, throwing a kunai to him. Take it. Zabuza caught it in his mouth. Arigato. He took off running at the mob. The mercenaries threw whatever weapons they had at Zabuza, piercing him, but the demon of the mist still ran, using Naruto's kunai to assassinate the mercenaries. After a majority of the mercenaries were killed, the remaining few fled the scene, not wanting to return ever again. Zabuza, with no energy left, fell on his back. Ugh. He grunts in pain. Guess this is the end for me. Zabuza, Kakashi said as Squad 7 and Tazuna gather around. Zabuza looked up to Naruto. Kid, what's your name? My name is Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto answered. Naruto, I thank you for helping me see the light, Zabuza said. Kakashi, I have one request for you. Set me next to Haku, if I'm going to die here and now. I'd want it to be next to him. Yes, Zabuza. Kakashi carried Zabuza's body, setting him down next to Haku, where the swordsman looked at the side to Haku's lifeless face. You were always at my side, the least I can do is to be beside you at the end. I know it cannot be, but I wish I could go to where you have gone. How I wish I could join you there, Haku, Zabuza said before his eyes closed, signaling his death. Naruto was brought out of his flashback and looked to them. Even if you're trained to become a pure killer, even some will always have a small piece of emotion within them. After all, we're all human, aren't we? You're absolutely right, Hataru agreed. Chujiro yawned. Well, I'm going to bed now. I'll catch you all in the morning. He went inside the ship's cabin. Naruto continued sitting down, looking out into the sea as Hataru sat next to him. Naruto? I want to know, where did you come from? Naruto was surprised she'd ask him something personal like that, but felt hesitant to answer given his past. Should I tell her, or will she just treat me like everyone else? Maybe I'll take my chances, and if she doesn't take it kindly, I can just fly off. Well, Hataru, the village I previously came from wasn't exactly a place I was proud to call my home. How come? Well, I was born an orphan. I didn't know my mother or my father. Growing up wasn't even what you'd call a happy life. For reasons I never did understand, the villagers treated me like shit. Every day I'd receive beatings from villagers, charged for expired foods, even had my own apartment ransacked. Whenever I asked someone why I'm treated so poorly, they just say I killed millions of innocent lives and caused people nothing but pain, Naruto explained while clenching his fist. Hataru gasped at this and spoke. Why would so many say something like that? You don't look like you would harm anyone innocent. Yeah, I thought they knew something I didn't know, and it turns out they did, but they let their own emotions and rage blind them to what I really was. Really were? Hataru was confused. The truth is, Hataru, I'm a Jinchuriki. A Jinchuriki? Hataru gasped. So you've heard of them, have you? I have, in fact my master is one. He is? Naruto was taken aback. Yes, now I understand what you mean. My master said he was casted out, looked down upon, treated like he was a monster just because he had one sealed inside him, the girl explained. Truth is there are still some who treat him that way, but he no longer lets them get to him. He only gets stronger so that he can protect himself, and anyone he cares about such as me. I see. So what else? Hataru asked. Well, during my time in the village I formed a rivalry with another boy. He was Mr. Popular due to the reputation of his clan. Every girl at the ninja academy wanted him, and boys were envious of him. But me, all I wanted to do was surpass him. I thought he was my friend seeing as how both of us were what made each other work harder to get stronger. But that was all a lie, Naruto said as his eyes tightened. He was just a blind fool obsessed with revenge for the massacre of his family. He attempted to go nuke Nin so he could get stronger from another nuke Nin. I was sent to stop him and bring him back. And when I did, the council banished me for nearly killing him. What? Hataru gasped. How can they do that? They're the council, and that means they think they're so superior they can do whatever they want and how they want it, Naruto explained, so they used that as an excuse to banish me. Naruto then found himself pulled into a hug by Hataru and blushed, feeling the side of his head pressed into the girl's soft mounds while hearing her whimper, I'm so sorry. For what? Naruto asked confused. For making you remember such a horrid life. You were wrongfully treated for something you had no control over. You didn't deserve to be treated like a plague. I'm so sorry. She hugged his head tighter, making him blush. Whoa, these things are soft. No wonder Erosenin has a fascination for them, he thought, but snapped out of it before Hataru noticed he was enjoying the feeling too much. He got out of her hug and looked at her. Thanks, Hataru, but I'm okay, really. In fact, being banished was about the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It's given me a chance to start a new life and such. Isn't there anybody you miss in your village? The girl asked. Yes, quite a lot of people, and they all treated me like a person. But not even them could keep me from getting banished. But I'll always remember them, because the greatest friends are the ones you'll never forget. Hataru smiled and leaned her head into his shoulder. I couldn't agree more with you, Naruto. Soon the two had fallen asleep and Ao popped out from the ship's cabin and saw Naruto and Hataru sitting against one of the masts, with Hataru leaning her head into Naruto's shoulder. The man smiled at how peaceful they looked before grabbing a spare blanket and covered them up. Mei-sama would love to see this, he said as he went back to the cabin to sleep. When morning came, Naruto and Hataru woke up and noticed they entered a blanket of fog. Hey, what's going on? Naruto asked as he got up. Hotaru stood up. We made it. Made it? Naruto asked. Yes, welcome to Kiri, Naruto, Ao said as he and Chujiro approached. Naruto looked and saw a village coming into clear. Wow, so this is really Kiri. It certainly lives up to its reputation as a village hidden in mist, he said, almost unable to see anything. That's the way the climate is around our village every year, Ao explained. Soon after the boat docked, the three ninja led Naruto through the village heading for the administration building. They walked through a hall before stopping before a room where Ao knocked on the door, and a female voice answered from the other side, come in. Ao opened the door, showing Naruto, and where he looked over and seated at a desk was a slender woman in her early 30s. She had ankle-length, auburn hair styled into a herringbone pattern at the back, a topknot tied with a dark blue band, and with 4 bangs at the front. 2 bangs are short, with one covering her right eye, and 2 are long, crossing each other on her ample chest, just below her chin. Her eyes were light green, had dark blue polish on her fingers and toes, and had dark blue lipstick on. She wore a long-sleeved dark blue dress that falls just below the knees, was closed at the front with a zip, and is kept open on the front right side from the waist down. The dress only covered up to the upper part of her arms and the underside of her breasts. Underneath, she wore a mesh shirt that covered more of her upper body than her dress, but stopped short of covering her shoulders and still leaves a sizable cleavage. She also wore shorts in the same color as her dress, and underneath those were mesh leggings reaching down over her knees. Around her waist, she wore a belt with a pouch attached to the back on the left, high-heeled sandals and shin guards reaching up over her knees. Naruto looked lost for words, staring at the beautiful woman that was before him. Did Tsunade Bazin have a sister and never told me? Naruto thought to himself. Masama, Chujiro and I have returned from our reconnaissance mission, Ao explained to the woman. Good work to all 3 of you, the woman answered as Ao continued. Though we did run into a bit of trouble, mainly Hataru, he muttered under his breath while Hataru scowled. I see. The woman crossed her arms. Hataru was attacked by 3 ninja from AIM until our friend here helped her, Chujiro explained, revealing Naruto. Mei, upon seeing their guest, blushed. Oh my, she walked over to him. And who is this piece of handsome? She smiled, making Naruto blush, but he had to keep cool. Naruto Mizukage-sama. Naruto sweat with excitement. Naruto? What a beautiful name, she said, making him laugh nervously. Ahem, Naruto, I present to you the Godame Mizukage of Kiri Mai Terumi. Ao introduced him. An honor, ma'am. Naruto bowed his head. No need to be formal now, but how did you manage to help Hataru against 3 ninja? She asked. Chujiro answered, apparently he has some kind of special wind manipulating power that enabled him to defeat them before they could land a blow on him. Mei looked curious about this and turned to Hataru, is this true? Yes, I didn't believe it until I saw it with my own eyes, Mei-sama, she answered. Mei turned to Naruto, for what reason did you decide to help Hataru? For one thing, I could tell she wouldn't have stood a chance against the 3 who cornered her, and second, it's because I felt like it. What village do you come from? Mei continued questioning. None. I'm a traveling ninja with no specific loyalties to any village or nation leader, Naruto answered. Well, every ninja had to start somewhere, or are you a nuke nin yourself? Mei questioned suspiciously. No, I'm a banished ninja. Banished? Mei asked until the door opened and entering was a tall, thin young man with pale golden eyes and brown hair that reached to his shoulders. His side parting let a large portion of his bangs cover the left side of his face. He wore a long, light blue kimono adorned with a small emblem of 3 bubbles on the back, and a pair of black pants underneath, with an orange sash. The kimono hung loose, exposing his chest. In it was a bamboo jug and a pipe. Oh, sorry to intrude, Mizukage-sama. I didn't know you were having a meeting, the man said until Hataru spoke. Utakata-sama. Oh, Hataru, you're back. I didn't expect you back for another few days, he replied. You'd wish, she replied. Naruto looked at the man who noticed him as well. The two gazed at each other, as if they were looking deeper beyond what was in front of him. This guy, I feel it within him. Kurama, is he another one? Yes, Naruto, the chakra radiating off him can only be from Saiken the Rokubi. Utakata was thinking, Saiken, is this boy also like me? Yes, Utakata, I feel it in his chakra, he is the one who controls Kurama the Kyuubi, a demonic voice thought back. I see. Just in time, Mei said, Utakata, I'd like you to meet our guest Naruto. Naruto, this is Utakata, Hataru's master. Naruto approached him extending his hand. Nice to meet ya. Likewise. Utakata shook his hand. Chujiro and Ao, would you two mind leaving for now while I have a word with these 3? Mei requested. Of course, Mizukage-sama, Chujiro replied. But if you want, my lady, I could wait outside, and Ao began only to come face to face with Mei, who was giving him a sweet smile, while deeply Ao could sense malice vibes. I said you are dismissed, Ao. Ao started sweating bullets, nodded, a yes, milady, he said, and left the room with Chujiro. Naruto thought, wow, she can be scary like Basan. With only Mei, Naruto, Hataru, and Utakata in the room, Mei spoke. Now then, for starters, Naruto, your last name wouldn't happen to be Uzumaki, would it? Naruto was surprised. How does she know my last name? Kurama, what do I do? What you always do, what comes natural. Well, as a matter of fact, yes, he admitted. Mei smiled. I should have figured as much. But how do you know that last name? Naruto asked, confused. Because I was once friends with an Uzumaki. Her name was Kushina. The Mizukage answered, making Naruto more surprised. You knew my mom? Hataru and Utakata turned to Naruto, surprised at his shock. Mom? They asked. Mei looked serious and relieved. So it's true, Kushina did have a child named Naruto. I'm lost here. How do you know my mom? Naruto asked, wanting answers. Well, Naruto, Kushina and I were close when we were children. You might even say we were like sisters, Mei explained. But how can that be? Mom came from Uzushio. And we originally had ties with Uzushio, Mei continued. In fact, my father was made a representative of here and would take me along with him to Uzushio, where I'd play with Kushina. Boy, was she a mischievous one, always getting into trouble. But deep down she was a caring person. That I can believe, Naruto admitted. But years ago Kushina was brought to Konoha when Uzushio was destroyed. I had wanted to visit her and her new lover Minato Namikaze, but during the reign of our Yandere Mizukage Yugura, who ended our ties with any village there was, hence I hadn't seen Kushina since then, only through letters. In fact, I received a letter about what happened to her and Minato 13 years ago, and that their child was alive. That was you, Naruto, Mei explained. Minato Namikaze? Utakata asked. But that's the late Yandere Hokage of Konoha. Naruto's the child of a Hokage? Hataru gasped. Yes, it's true, Konoha was my former home, Naruto answered. Former home? Mei asked. Yes, I'm banished, Naruto explained. Banished, but why? Sit down and I'll explain everything, Naruto began as he told the 3 the full story about his birth, upbringing, the Ninja Academy, Squad 7, all the way up to Naruto's banishment, leaving out about the object he found underground, and that's it. I don't believe it, Hataru gasped, seeing everything clearer since she also heard about the Uchiha massacre. I can't believe the council would favor someone willing to go traitor over you. Mei was outraged. That's the way the council is, they hate Jinchuriki or anyone that's not of their village. Naruto explained. I know exactly how you feel, Naruto. Utakata said. Yes, Hataru did say her master was also a Jinchuriki. You hold the Rokubi, right? I do, just as you hold the Kyubi, correct? That's right, so I suppose you had the same life as I did? Naruto asked. More or less. Utakata answered. Then perhaps it's best if our tenants met again, Naruto said, extending his hand. Utakata, not sure how this would work, took Naruto's hand, and suddenly they found themselves in a conjoined plane with Kurama behind Naruto, and a giant slug with 6 tails behind Utakata. Whoa, so that's the Kyubi, or Kurama, Utakata said. Correct. Well, Saiken, you're looking very well for a slug, Kurama joked. Right back at you, Kurama. Once again you're transferred to another Uzumaki, huh? The slug asked. Well, my last 2 have been women, so it's nice to have a male host this time, Kurama replied. Naruto, have you met any other Jinchuriki besides me? Utakata asked. Actually, I have. His name's Gaara and he lives in Sunna, Naruto answered. Sunna, then you must be talking about Shikaku, Saiken said. Yup, at first he was wild and out of control, but I gave him a little bit of my own kind of therapy and now we're friends, Naruto explained. Yes, I agree, it's important for Jinchuriki are to stick together, especially now of all times, Kurama added. How so? Utakata asked. This is something the Mizukage should know as well, Naruto said as they ended their link and found themselves back in the office. What just happened with you two? You both weren't moving for 15 minutes, Hataru said. Just having a private conversation, but now I feel there's something you should know that concerns Utakata's safety, Naruto said. Safety? Mei asked. Yes, has anyone ever heard of the Akatsuki organization? Mei looked down in guilt. Yes, as a matter of fact we do, because the truth is we believe Kiri was the start of this organization. What's the Akatsuki? Hataru asked. Naruto answered, the Akatsuki is an organization composed of Nukenin with one goal in mind, to collect the 9 Bija. I've only met 2 of them and they were a dangerous pair. Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hashigaki. Mei looked shocked, so that's what Kisame's been doing all these years. You said Kiri was the start of the organization, but how? Naruto asked. Years ago, during the reign of our Yandame Mizukage, rumor had it Yagura was being manipulated by another force into starting the turmoil that led to bloodline slaughter. We believe the one who was manipulating him was the one who leads the Akatsuki, though we're still not sure, Mei explained. This calls for more looking into. I may be unable to go back to Konoha, but I can still keep in touch with Tsunade Bazin and Erosenin, he said to himself. Naruto, you've obviously had a long day, why don't you go and relax in our hot spring? Utakata, show him the way, Mei ordered. Yes, ma'am, he said as the 2 walked out of the office. Hey Naruto, thanks for what you did for Hataru. No problem. She said how much of a jerk I am? He asked. No, just nothing but respect, the redhead replied. That's surprising. I may not have a problem training her, but sometimes it can be tiring, Utakata explained. Can't say I know the feeling since I never trained anyone, but hey, if she's able to say such nice things about you, then you must be doing something right. Thanks, the slug Jinchuriki replied as they stopped by an onsen. Well, this is it, hope you enjoy it. You're not gonna join me, Utakata? Sorry, but I still got stuff to do. Well, check you later. Utakata walked off. Oh well, more space for me, Naruto said as he got undressed and entered the onsen, waist wrapped in a towel, and sat with his arms on the ledge with the towel on his forehead, just like the hot springs back home. Suddenly he heard the door slide open. Guess some of the others. He turned and gawked upon seeing Mei and Hataru standing before him with their bodies wrapped in towels. I see you've gotten comfortable, Naruto. Mei smiled. What are you two doing here? Naruto gasped as he covered his nose for fear of nose bleeding. We've come for a bath as well. With me here? Naruto asked. This is a mixed onsen, Naruto, Mei assured him. Well, that's a relief. If Erosenin knew what I'd be doing, he'd be so envious of my luck, Naruto said. Who's Erosenin? Hataru asked. You must be talking about Jiraiya of the Sannin, Mei said. Yup, Naruto replied. It certainly sounds like a fitting nickname, Mei admitted. And it drives him nuts. Naruto snickered as the girls got into the bath sitting across from him. Then is Tsunade of the Sannin really your grandma? Hataru asked. No, I just like calling her that. I have nicknames for certain mentors I consider the closest, he replied. Speaking of family, I notice you have your mother's face but you have your father's eyes, Mei noticed. Well, I used to have his hair as well, until I dyed it red like my mom's. Partly so it'll be harder for certain people to not recognize me, Naruto said and looked at Hataru. So Hataru, just how did you come to be Utakata's student? Well, it all started out many years ago in my old village back when I was with my home clan Tsuchigumo. She began as Mei continued. The Tsuchigumo clan had in fact a link with Konoha at the time. A link? What kind? During the Third Shinobi War, the Tsuchigumo clan made a pact with the Sandaime Hokage. The clan head at the time created a powerful technique that could wipe out an entire village, though Hiruzen Sarutobi through the pact demanded it be made forbidden, in exchange for protection provided by Konoha in times of need, she continued. Because they had such a dangerous technique, they were targeted by rivaling nations, leading to many clan members being killed. Whoa! Naruto gasped, feeling it was the Uchiha and Kagaya clan all over again. Yes, in a last-ditch attempt, Hataru's grandfather sealed the forbidden technique within her, and only a clan member of Hataru herself can release it. As for meeting Utakata, it was 4 years ago when Utakata fled from here due to the harsh treatment he received being a Jinchuriki and all. By a bit of luck the two stumbled upon each other. Mei said as Hataru continued. I was impressed by the skills he used to defend me against some Nukuni, and I declared him as my master. Even though he tried to turn me away, I followed him until he would agree. You followed him? Naruto asked, seeing stalker written all over. Anyway, he reluctantly agreed, teaching me some water jutsu. It was later than 2 years later we were founded and brought back to Kiri, where Mei-sama here. Many of the ninja welcomed Utakata back, having not been so blind as others, but sadly there are some villagers who aren't as accepting of him as others. I also trained Hataru in a few jutsu as well, though she can be a bit of a rascal who gets into trouble. Mei teased while Hataru whined. You're too mean, Mei-sama. Naruto chuckled. Oh, you two remind me of another adult and girl back in Konoha. He thought of Tsunade and Sakura. They relaxed until Hataru slid over, getting closer to Naruto. Naruto? I was wondering if you could wash my back for me. She let her towel drop a bit behind her, exposing her clear back. Naruto blushed. You want me to? Yes, please. I'd really appreciate it, she replied. Well, okay, Naruto said as he started washing the girl's back as she moaned. That feels good. Naruto, are you a natural at this? Hataru moaned in delight. Actually no, this is my first time doing this, Naruto admitted. First time? That's unfortunate. I'd think someone as handsome as you would do this for all the girls. Yoel, standing in the shadow of Sasuke, made just about every girl in the village look right past me. What a shame, Hataru said as she continued to enjoy her back wash. Naruto, I was wondering how would you like to live in Kiri with us? Mei offered. What? Naruto asked. Well, seeing as how you're no longer welcomed in Konoha, you deserve a new home, Mei explained. Naruto smiled. Thanks for the offer, Mei-sama, but I have to decline. Oh, and why's that? Mei asked, confused, while Hataru looked disappointed. Because as of now, being around me isn't safe for the moment. How come? Hataru asked. I may be banished from Konoha, but one member of their council still wants me dead. Danzo Shimura, the warhawk of a ninja. Mei feared, recalling his reputation as a warmonger. Yeah, a week ago he sent some of his trained Umbu to assassinate me. It wasn't easy, but I managed to defeat them, and there's no question he sent more to try and find me. That's why for now I have to be on the move. I understand. Mei nodded. As do I, Hataru agreed. Well, you'll be welcomed here in case you need any place to stay, Mei assured him. Thanks. Naruto smiled as Hataru laid in his chest, making him blush, while Mei giggled, seeing how cute they looked. That night Naruto was set up in a guest bedroom but lied wide awake on his bed wearing a robe. Wow, I'm glad I got to know Kiri of this time rather than the past. Mei-sama's a nice woman, just like Tsunade Bazin. And Hataru, she understands how I feel about carrying a burden of power so dangerous it could bring destruction, he thought to himself until he looked, seeing his door open and entering was Hataru in her own robe as well. Hataru? Sorry, Naruto, but I just wanted to see you before you decided to leave tomorrow, she explained, walking to his bed. No problem, I wasn't asleep anyway, Naruto said as Hataru climbed on the bed. I also wanted to properly thank you for not only for what you did for me, but for letting me get to know you better. Thank me how? Naruto asked, only to get his chin cupped by Hataru's hand. Through this, Hataru said as she planted her lips on Naruto's, who graciously accepted the kiss. They kissed for 5 minutes before they parted. Wow, Naruto gasped. You're good, Hataru said. You were even better, Naruto replied. This was my second kiss. Wonder if I should tell her now. Naruto? Yeah? I know this is sudden, but if you ever decided on your true future, would you make me your wife? Huh? Naruto asked, taken aback by such an offer. Nobody knows how many Uzumakis are left from the clan, and it'd be a shame if you were the only one there is. So would you ever consider marrying me? I would make the best wife I could be, and help start a new generation to the Uzumaki clan. Hataru, I'm touched you'd say that, but you know being the last male of a near-extinct clan entitles me to take up more than one bride. And I'd like to try it, at least make an attempt to. I understand if you ever find others who'd be willing to help restore your clan, I would be accepting of that. Good, and who knows, I may end up taking your offer into consideration. After all, I'm really starting to like you and we both have a lot in common. He noted. I know, we both carry burdens placed upon us by our families, and I know we could help each other overcome those burdens. Hataru said. Agreed, so I may be leaving tomorrow, but I will come back and visit sometime. And when I find a perfect place to start my own home, I'll bring you there. You promise? Hataru asked. I promise. He kissed her forehead the way Tsunade kissed his. Then let's make the most of tonight, Hataru said as she pulled Naruto into a kiss and they started making out, which led to Hataru sleeping in his bed with him. The very next morning, Naruto collected his stuff and stood on the roof of the administration building with Mei, Ao, Chujiro, Utakata, and Hataru seeing him off. Well, time I got going, Naruto said. Are you sure you won't consider staying, Naruto? Chujiro asked. Can't, Chujiro, it's a big ninja world out there, and I'm gonna see it all, Naruto declared. Well, come back when you can, Mei said. Will do, Naruto promised. Good luck out there, Naruto, Ao said. Thanks. We'll never forget you, friend, Utakata said. And stay safe, Hataru added. I will, Naruto said as he started hovering a bit. Gotta fly. He took off into the sky and flew off, leaving Kiri for parts unknown. In Konoha, Tsunade was slouching over her paperwork while Shizen was lecturing her about taking her job seriously. Then Jiraiya climbed in through the window. Well, good morning, ladies. What is it this time, Jiraiya? Tsunade asked boredly. Well, Tsunade, you'll be happy to know one of my messenger toads has delivered me a message from Naruto. Jiraiya began as Tsunade's bored demeanor vanished, and she looked serious. Where is it? Let me see it. Easy there, allow me. Jiraiya unraveled a scroll and read from it while Naruto's voice read it as well before only his voice could be heard. Dear Basen, Shizen, Erosenin, and all my loved ones in that godforsaken village. It's been a week or so since my banishment, but I want you to know I'm doing perfectly fine on my own. I will admit, though, I do miss all of you. Things aren't the same as they used to be since I no longer take ninja missions. I managed to find myself a great job with a good pay. I do magic now. I had to really practice with it, but the kids and the people just can't get enough of my work. It cuts to Naruto's POV, who had been doing a magic show in a town. Naruto was dressed in his cloak and wore a kabuki mask that covered all but the top right side of his face, exposing his right eye. He stood before an audience of kids and adults while pulling out a deck of cards and shuffled them before dropping them on the ground, making a bad first impression, but smirked as he held out his hand and the cards went up from the ground and into his hand in a perfect deck again, leaving the audience in awe. What Naruto hadn't said in his letter was that the use of his new power was the source of his success in his magic show. Other performances he did included juggling, but used his mind to make the balls stay airborne, while he took a sip of water and held his hands out catching them. He even did some hard juggling on line wires. I still haven't decided on where I'm going to now live, but don't worry, I'm just enjoying myself and getting a chance to see more of the ninja land I've never seen before. I'm still keeping up on my training with the Rasengan among other techniques. Just checking in and making sure you're all doing okay. I honestly wish I look forward to seeing you all again, but I won't be coming back and all. You never know, though, maybe I'll run into some of you when you're out on missions. It could happen. Well, I got to get going. I'll write to you very soon. With love, Naruto. Jiraiya and Shizen smiled while Tsunade shed a tear. At least he's still alive out there, Jiraiya said. Yes, I was worried. We all are, Tsunade replied. I wonder where he is now. Meanwhile, Naruto was flying across the sky above the clouds, cheering and whooping, activating hyperdrive. He flew faster. Soon he pulled to a halt and looked down, seeing the water below and land up ahead. Seems like I should stop there for a bit and conserve my energy. He flew ahead but suddenly saw he was flying right into a storm. Naruto, get out of there, Kurama called, but Naruto was already caught up in the strong wind that was messing with his balance in the sky. Whoa! The wind's all of a sudden on the move here, Naruto called as he tried to maintain altitude, not wanting to crash into the water before reaching the land up ahead. He flew through the storm, dodging some lightning strikes before finally flying out of the storm, and was right above the land before another breeze knocked him off balance, and he started flying downward, seeing he was heading right for a building's roof. Oh, this is gonna hurt, Naruto said as he braced for impact as he crashed through the roof and landed in water and heard female cries. Naruto lifted his head out of the water. Oh, what a wipeout. Where am I? He looked, seeing it appeared to be a bathhouse. A bathhouse? Suddenly he felt killer intent all around him. He looked and to his shock was surrounded by multiple girls ranging from his age and older. Some of them were wrapped in towels, while others used wash pans to cover themselves up. What Naruto noticed most about these girls was that they had some very impressive rack sizes. Nothing like Tsunade's but very busted. Naruto looked sheepish. Hey ladies, was this your bathhouse? Sorry, I must have taken a wrong turn. You all enjoy your bath and I'll be on my way. He got up planning to leave only to see the girls held kunai aimed at him, making him nervous. What are you doing here, male? One of the girls asked with a frown. Honestly, I'm here by mistake. Oh, it's a mistake, alright, another girl began. You don't belong here. I agree, that's why I'm leaving this building, Naruto said, wanting to make a break without exposing his power to them right away. It's not just that, a third said, men aren't welcomed in this village. Therefore you are an intruder and must be dealt with. The girls were ganging up on him before Naruto pointed behind them. Behold! They all turned and Naruto bolted out of the bathhouse and ran through the village. Where the hell am I? He asked before hearing alarms and a spotlight shine around. Oh shit. He ran. Naruto, why don't you just fly? And what ruined the chance to explain myself? Besides, I need to keep my leg muscles in shape, he replied as he ran, seeing multiple kunoichi aiming, throwing their kunai at him, almost nailing him had he not used his power to make them fly to the ground instead. Man, that was close. These girls got good aim. Are you going to keep running forever? You have more than enough power to take them all on. Alright then, I'll stop running, Naruto replied as he spun facing them as the girls land on the ground forming a mob. Alright girls, who wants some? The girls each went at him using hand-to-hand combat while Naruto blocked some of their moves but used his telekinesis to push them back. But more kept coming and attacking him. Naruto sighed as he summoned a shadow clone. I didn't want to have to use this on you, but you forced me to take desperate measures. His clone started forming a Rasengan in his palm. Attack! One of the kunoichis called as they were about to strike until another called. Halt! They all froze as Naruto stopped as well, ending his Rasengan. The kunoichi made way as another made their way through the crowd. It was a woman in her 30s who had an imposing figure, along with a slender physique and a very angular face framed by short brown hair along with a dark shade of red lipstick. She wore a short, backless, red, full bodysuit over mesh armor, along with a pair of arm-length gloves, a long apron skirt opened in the front. She also wore bandages on her wrists, covering all of her right, left as well as her left thigh and leg. And strapped to her back was an extremely long and thin katana. Everyone stand down, she ordered. But Lady Tokiwa, we cannot let a man in our village. One tried to object. That's an order, the woman Tokiwa called, and the kunoichi lowered their guard, putting Naruto at ease until Tokiwa approached him. You there, sir? She said. Yes? That technique you were about to use, it was the Rasengan, wasn't it? It might have been, he replied. Only 2 people have been known to use that technique. One was the Yondaime Hokage of Konoha, but he is long since deceased. The other is Jiraiya of the legendary Sannin. Tell me, are you an apprentice to Jiraiya-sama? More like was, but still I did learn under him until I went on my own. My name's Naruto. This is just what we've been waiting for. Tokiwa began confusing Naruto and turned to the guards. Take us to the palace. Lady Shizuka must know of this. Hi. 2 guards nodded. Follow me, please. Tokiwa told Naruto, who did so, wondering what was up. Soon they reached a palace where they made it to a chamber. Naruto looked ahead, seeing someone in a throne-like chair. It was a girl. This girl had fair skin and sported a noticeably curvaceous frame and large bust which Naruto could barely take his eyes off of. She had green eyes and waist-length black hair and a harem-style tied in a high ponytail with short bangs and chin-length strands framing her face. Behind her bangs was a black forehead protector with the symbol of a flower on it, which was worn by all the kunoichi in the village, and she also wore a form-fitting kunoichi uniform that was gray-colored with a right shoulder armor, gray gloves, and an opening in her shirt, which reveals her cleavage, which went noticed by Naruto, making him blush but shook it off as he watched what happened next. Behold our illustrious leader, Princess Shizuka, Tokiwa announced as Naruto looked at the girl on the throne. Everyone leave us, Tokiwa ordered as the guards left her, Naruto, and the girl on the throne. What is the meaning of this, Tokiwa? The girl asked, eyeing Naruto, who blushed. Lady Shizuka, our guards have found this male in our village, but there is something about him you should know. The woman began. Speak, Shizuka replied. His name is Naruto, and he was an apprentice of Jiraiya-sama. Suddenly the girl Shizuka looked surprised. Jiraiya-sama, then he is the one. One what? Naruto asked in confusion. First of all, Naruto, this village you are in now is Nashiko no Sato, Pink Flower Country, Tokiwa explained. Nashiko? Naruto asked. Never heard of a country from Kakashi, Jiraiya, or anybody. Yes, in this village only kunoichi exist and train. Wow, sounds like the type of village Erosenin would love, Naruto replied. We have been waiting for an apprentice of Jiraiya-sama's for a long time now. The woman continued. Why is that? Didn't Jiraiya-sama tell you anything? Tokiwa asked. Tell me what? Well, I guess I'll tell you then, the woman began. Many years ago Jiraiya-sama had traveled to our village. Gee, I wonder why. Naruto said in sarcasm. Anyway, our former leader who was Shizuka's mother chased Jiraiya until they dueled it out. And the only thing on the line between them was Shizuka's mother's hand in marriage. I don't like where this is going. Naruto had a bad feeling about it. Shizuka spoke, our village is matrilineal. Only women are born into our line. Say what? Naruto asked as she continued. Our code is that we kunoichi of Nashiko only marry men we deem strong enough to be our husbands. Shizuka explained. And what does this have to do with me? Tokiwa continued. Jiraiya-sama and Shizuka's mother fought to the peak of their strengths, but the duel was left unresolved. It was then a compromise was made that if the students of the two should ever meet they would continue the fight with the same price on the line. Wait, so you mean that? Naruto was shocked as Shizuka approached him and took his hands into hers. Please duel with me, Naruto. Should you win, I will gladly make you my husband. Naruto stumbled backward, falling on his back from the shock, and surprised the two women as he got back up. Hey, this is all so sudden. I mean, I was just told this. You can't honestly expect me to go along with some promise my master made. Please, denying a request to duel would bring shame to our village. Tokiwa reasoned with him. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but like I said, I'm no longer Erosenin's student. Not since I was banished from Konoha. Banished? Shizuka asked. Yeah, I've been on my own for more than a week enjoying my liberation. Liberation? That's what you call your banishment? Tokiwa asked. That's right, and more to the point, I have to pass on this marriage duel. Naruto said. Please, you must do this for Shizuka's sake. Tokiwa pleaded. Sorry, but that's not my problem. It's been fun, but have to go. Naruto was prepared to leave only for two guards to appear and block him. Even if you do try to leave, you are still considered trespassing in our village. Shizuka warned him. How did you even wind up falling into the bathhouse without crossing the entrance of the village? Tokiwa questioned him. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, Naruto replied. Regardless, Naruto, we are giving you an ultimatum, Shizuka continued, duel me, or be killed. Naruto smirked to himself, like they could do that to me. So now you'll escape? Kurama thought. Not just yet, Naruto thought back and spoke. Alright then, I accept your terms, princess. Shizuka nodded, a wise choice. She turned to Tokiwa. See that our guest is properly welcomed here, and make arrangements for tomorrow's match. At once, my lady. Tokiwa nodded. Soon Tokiwa had shown Naruto to his room where he got settled in, and within the hour it was dinner time, with Naruto sitting with Shizuka and Tokiwa at a dinner table with a wide spread of food. Wow, this sure looks good, Naruto admitted. Eat up. Shizuka beckoned him and Naruto chowed while Tokiwa and Shizuka ate regularly. You know, you Nashiko ladies are very hospitable, Naruto admitted. You should consider yourself lucky, we don't normally treat men this generously, Shizuka replied. I'll take your word for it, Naruto said as he continued eating. After dinner, Naruto was sitting out on a balcony and thought, I can't believe this, tomorrow I'm fighting against a kunoichi for marriage. I know, how lucky can you get? Kurama thought. Focus, Kurama, because if I win I'm going to have to marry her, and if I lose, actually I'd rather not even think about the consequences if it goes that far. Would marrying her be so bad to you? It's not that I don't like her, believe me, I won't deny she's hot. But I barely know her, and I'm on the run from Root. I see your point, but maybe you can make this your home if you succeed. After all, Root Umbu wouldn't be welcomed here even if they could sneak in. You're not much help in this case, Kurama. Suddenly he was broken out of his thoughts by Tokiwa. Naruto? Naruto jumped before looking up at the woman. Oh, Tokiwa, I didn't hear ya there. I sense you are distressed. She took a seat next to him. I'm way past distressed. When I woke up this morning I wasn't counting on an arranged marriage proposal as a result of something my master promised years ago. I know it's so sudden, but I should tell you this is more than just about the promise between yours and Shizuka's masters, but to restore Shizuka's belief in love. She explained. Huh? The blonde was confused. Perhaps I ought to explain why Shizuka trains so hard, she began. You see, she's always despised how our village upholds the tradition of making men our husbands by proving themselves, and many years ago she was in love with a merchant named Sajiri, but due to our village customs was forbidden. One day Sajiri was killed and Shizuka resigned never to love again. Since then she's done nothing but train herself so that she would be stronger and never lose someone dearest to her again. Personally, I believe she is only punishing herself. Naruto, finally hearing this about Shizuka, could only sympathize with her. So that's it? Yes, I'm hoping you fighting her would be able to help her love again and not close herself off. Naruto started processing all this about Shizuka, having originally thought this was all just about a promise made years ago, realized it was much more. He smiled before speaking. Alright then, I'll be ready for tomorrow. Really? The woman asked, surprised at his change in behavior. Yeah, when it comes to changing people's outlooks, I've been known to be a natural at it. Naruto smiled, recalling past experiences with Inari, Gaara, and Tsunade. I thank you, Naruto. You have no idea how much this will mean for me and Shizuka's mother. Don't mention it. He smiled. When morning came, all the kunoichi in the village were gathered inside an arena similar to the Chunin exam stadium in terms of size and space. In the stands were just about all the kunoichi in Nashiko. On the field stood Naruto and Shizuka warming up until Tokiwa walked onto the field. Welcome, kunoichi of Nashiko, to the event you've all been waiting for. Today we bear witness on the long-awaited match between our late ruler's daughter, Princess Shizuka. Tokiwa began as the crowd of kunoichi cheered her on, and her challenger, the student of the legendary Jiraiya-sama all the way from Konohagakure, Naruto. Naruto was given boos from the ladies, but he couldn't blame them since he's yet to prove himself to Shizuka or anyone. Let the match begin, Tokiwa called as she stepped away for the fighters to go at it. Prepare yourself, Naruto, Shizuka called as she ran forward, Nashiko style. Roaring Gale Chop, she called as her right hand glowed with wind chakra and was thrusted forward. Naruto jumped back, avoiding her strike, but felt the ground below them shake as fissures erupted on the ground Shizuka stood on. Wow, she's good, but I can't take chances. He drew a kunai. He looked up, seeing her jump above him holding multiple kunai. Nashiko style. Aerial dance. She threw the barrage of kunai that proved to have deadly accuracy. Naruto, however, used his telekinesis to make the kunai miss him, surprising the kunoichi. How did he do that? One asked. Princess Shizuka never misses, and he didn't even move a muscle, another said. This Naruto must be special if he was trained by Jiraiya-sama, a third noted. Naruto jumped at Shizuka, summoning 3 shadow clones, each using their kunai to fight against her. However, Shizuka spun kicked all 4 with the clones dispelling while Naruto landed on his feet. What do you think of that, huh? Naruto asked. You are strong indeed, Naruto, but I'm not finished. Spinning waltz. Shizuka jumped into the air, spinning like a top, launching needles all around. Whoa, needles! Naruto gasped as he crossed his arms around his body and forcibly spreaded them like he did before with the root umbu, only to get a nosebleed from using more force than he was used to. Geez, I was almost a pincushion. He wiped the blood from his nose. He deflected all her needles just like that. A kunoichi gasped. What is that, boy? Gale fan. Shizuka called, using her wind chakra to expel a large breath of wind, forcing Naruto back, but he back-flipped, landing perfectly on the ground. Seeing this, Shizuka ran forward, preparing to use another Gale chop. You know what, I grow tired of this, Naruto said plainly as he held out his hand and was levitating Shizuka off the ground, keeping her suspended above him. What is this? Shizuka struggled. My special ability, Naruto explained. I've never dealt with anybody who's able to escape it, at least not yet. Shizuka sighed, seeing she did not have the strength to break this hold he had on her. No one's ever bested me before. Go ahead, deliver the final blow. Naruto scowled as he lowered the kunoichi back to the ground, releasing his hold on her, surprising Shizuka and her fellow village kunoichi. I have no reason to finish you. But our duel, she reminded him. It would prove nothing if I finished you off, because I bear nothing against you or this village. But the thing is, I don't live by your village rules. I'd marry for love, not by force. Love? Shizuka asked, but before anyone could respond there was a crash in the arena, putting all kunoichi on guard. Entering onto the arena was a man dressed in a horrendous pink and light purple outfit, while piloting a mechanical puppet along with dozens and dozens of other mechanical puppets contraptions. At last, princess, I have come for you, the man declared. This again? Tokiwa asked with a frown. Kokuya, this man has been stalking Princess Shizuka for months now, wanting her to marry him. He keeps coming back with more of those puppet devices, but he's never done a full frontal attack like this, she explained. Shizuka frowned at the man and shouted, You're butting in on our private matter. So sorry, but I came here with one thing in mind, to make you my bride, he declared. And I will do it by force. His puppets started swarming into the arena. Naruto frowned, this guy badly dressed and insane. All Nashiko kunoichi defend Princess Shizuka, Tokiwa ordered as they all piled into the arena and started fighting Kokuya's puppets. Naruto watched, seeing the kunoichi defend their leader with all their might. While I'm not of this village, I can just sit by and do nothing. Then do what you gotta do, since no one's stopping you. Hi, Naruto replied as he charged into battle, dodging several puppets, but gasped seeing Shizuka was caught by Kokuya's main puppet he was piloting. Shizuka! Tokiwa cried. I got her! Naruto called, summoning 4 clones. He then held his arms out in front of the puppet and slowly started making a fist. Doing so, the puppet started getting crushed as well as if it was in the palm of Naruto's hand. What's going on? Kokuya was surprised as his puppet exploded and Shizuka was tossed into the air while the real Naruto jumped up catching her in his arms. Missed me? He asked while Shizuka blushed. When they landed on the ground, Shizuka saw Naruto clones were holding Kokuya in place with their psychic hold. I know you have more beef with him with stalking you constantly, but may I finish this? Naruto asked. You may. She allowed. Arigato. Naruto had another clone conjure a Rasengan for him. You try taking women by force while you're just doing yourself in. Now have some of this. He charged at Kokuya, Rasengan. He thrusted it into the man's chest as the clones released their hold on him. Kokuya was sent flying off into the sky screaming with a ping when he was out of sight. The Nashiko kunoichi cheered in victory as Tokiwa approached the princess. I'm sorry the duel has been cut short, my lady. She apologized. Shizuka held up a hand to silence her. What's done is done, Tokiwa. Besides, I already know the victor of this match. He's proven himself worthy to me. She looked at Naruto before announcing, Naruto is the winner. Before anyone could respond, Naruto spoke. I didn't win because of my strength and jutsu. It's because I had something to fight for. And that was? Shizuka asked. To bring you back to your senses, he answered, confusing her. It's painful to lose somebody you love, I can tell. But training yourself like crazy to protect those you care about can only get you so much. But unless you are able to love, then it'll be harder to protect those who mean something to you. Believe me, I know. And if I am supposed to marry you, I will accept your terms. However, I don't know you and you don't know me. I do not want us to be forced together because of your law. I want us to get to know each other more, that way your heart will be able to tell if I am the one for you. Shizuka was surprised at his choice of words while remembering Sajiri and how much he meant to her. And this boy who she was promised to one day face in battle defeated her, claiming that he won because he was trying to help her learn to love again. She could only smile and shed a tear. Naruto, arigato. Suddenly the kunoichi and Tokiwa applauded for the two. Later that night, Naruto was once again sitting on his balcony looking up at the night as Shizuka approached. How are your injuries? Not bad, I heal quickly. What about you? I'm fine. That's good. He smiled. Naruto, can I ask you something? Shoot. Why were you banished from Konoha? Naruto looked at her, wondering about confessing about himself, but knew if Hataru and the Mizukage could take it well and not judge him, there may be hope for others. My tale is complicated, but you'll have to hear everything from the beginning of my life. Naruto explained. Shizuka listened, and as Naruto told Shizuka his past, ranging from his birth to how he became a ninja up to his banishment. I had no idea. Shizuka gasped. Well, it's all true. The stuff I said about Kurama and Sasuke is legit. Naruto assured her. What a horrible life you endured. Shizuka was saddened. Yeah, but that's all in the past. I only hold the select good memories in my village, such as the people who were actually nice to me. Naruto admitted. But you didn't deserve banishment because you did nothing wrong, Shizuka said. Everyone else I cared about said that too, but the council and the civilians are biased against me because I'm not like everyone else. And with Root Ninja after me, things are only gonna be more complicated. Naruto replied. Maybe you should stay here so that they won't trace you here. After all, we are now engaged. I appreciate the offer, Shizuka, but must pass on that offer. I want to see all of the ninja land, even those I've never know about. Plus the Akatsuki are targeting me. If you get attacked by them, I would never forgive myself. I understand. Shizuka said, a little disappointed. Naruto smiled, putting a hand on her right cheek. Don't worry though. If I ever find a place to call my own that no one would go to look for me, I'll bring you over there, and we can start a family, you, me, Hataru, and anyone else I might meet along the way. Shizuka smiled with her hope restored. I would love that, Naruto. Also, how did you manage to do all that stuff to me and to Kokuya and his puppet? I'm a very skilled wind manipulator, able to use the element in ways not many can use it for. He explained. I see, well, they're amazing. She smiled and hugged him. Naruto thought, sorry Shizuka, but maybe one day I really can trust you and Hataru with my secret. Until then, just hang in there. When they parted, they looked into each other's eyes and Shizuka spoke. Let's you and I have a wonderful life together sometime in the future, Naruto. Yeah. Naruto agreed as the two leaned in closer until their lips met into a passionate kiss that lasted for 5 minutes due to both being so caught up in the warm sensation, especially Shizuka, who had been closing off her feeling of love for years. When they parted, Shizuka then took a hold of Naruto's right hand and moved over to her breast, placing his palm on it. Why, Shizuka? Naruto panted at the soft bosom beneath his palm. Though you may go on a long journey, Naruto, I'll always keep you close here to my heart, Shizuka explained. Naruto smiled. Same here. And who knows, I'll come back again one day. You never know. The two smiled until they turned in. The next day Naruto stood before Shizuka and Tokiwa on one of the building rooftops. "We'll miss you, Naruto," Shizuka said. "Likewise," Naruto replied. "You'll always be welcomed here, though next time use the village entrance and not drop in through the bathhouse roof," Tokiwa joked. "I'll keep that in mind," Naruto said sheepishly. "Be careful out there, Naruto," Shizuka added. "I will. Well, ladies, time for me to go." He hovered up a bit. "Arrivederci, I'm out of here." He took off into the sky. Shizuka smiled as she walked off, heading back to her palace with her head up high, and knew deep in her heart she would see Naruto again. Tokiwa watched, seeing the girl had finally learned how to love again. "Shizuka, your mother would be so proud of you," she followed her princess. It was one evening while Naruto was asleep at his camp. Deep in his subconscious he woke up before Kurama's cage. "Kurama, what's going on?" "Naruto, we have a guest," the fox answered. "A guest?" he asked until he turned, seeing a black-cloaked phantasm approach him. "Oh, Kami, the Shinigami." Naruto panicked as he backed away. "Go away, I don't want to die yet." The being stopped. "Oh, stop your panicking, boy." The Shinigami removed its hood, revealing to have pale skin and short black hair, surprising Naruto. "Whoa, I half expected you to be all, I don't know, skeleton-like?" Naruto asked. The Shinigami sighed. "Is that a ridiculous fantasy appearance you humans made up for us? Because it ain't even clever." "Why were you here?" Naruto asked. The Shinigami answered, "I've come to your mind not to take your soul, but to introduce you to others special like you." "Special like me?" "Yes, that power you have over telekinesis. It is not unique, and you were not the first to have gained it." "I wasn't?" Naruto was starting to get interested. "No, before you only 3 had acquired the same power as you. Sadly they died years ago, 2 of them at such a young age." "Who were they?" "See for yourself." The Shinigami raised his arm and lowered it, revealing 3 teenage boys around the ages of 16 and 17. One was black while 2 were white. The 3 boys approached as the black kid noticed Naruto. "So this is the heir to our legacy, boys? Doesn't look like too much from his appearance," the second boy said, who appeared to look like he had bags under his eyes. "Guys, he's standing right there," the third reminded them. "Who are all of you?" Naruto asked. The third boy spoke. "My name's Matt Goretti, this is my cousin Andrew Detmer, and our friend Steve Montgomery." "Nice to meet ya." Steve shook Naruto's hand. "Hey there." Andrew waved. "And you are?" Matt asked. "Naruto Uzumaki, or make that Namikaze, whichever works," Naruto replied and spoke. "So you 3 have the same power as I do?" "More like had," Andrew admitted. "Then you guys found the same object I did underground?" "That's right, it gave us our psychic power," Matt answered. "So what were you 3 like before you died?" Naruto asked. "Well, I was your average guy, not a loser but not quite popular," Matt explained. "Me, I was the popular guy," Steve began. "I was even running for our class president." Andrew looked down. "I was cursed with bad luck." "Cursed?" Naruto asked. Andrew began. "Before I acquired the power I lived with my mom and dad. My mom was very sick from cancer and was close to dying no matter how much medicine she took. My father, well, he made life a living hell. I know a better way for you all to understand each other, rather than listening," the Shinigami said, taking their right hands and put them in the center, laying their hands on each other's as memories flowed through their minds. Naruto had seen just what the boys were saying, seeing Matt and Steve were the more popular guys, but gasped upon seeing Andrew's life through his eyes. Indeed, his mother was very sick, but his alcoholic father would abuse him out of his own frustrations, making him feel like shit. At school he was considered a freak for documenting his life with some kind of camera. After they acquired their powers, he saw that they also used their powers for fun, but noticed Andrew unintentionally steered a vehicle off the road and into a lake with the driver dying. Things got more hectic when Andrew's father continued to beat him, forcing him to fight back using his power, and blinded by his own frustrations accidentally struck Steve using lightning from a storm he was flying around in. He continued watching as Andrew was pushed off the deep end when he tried to steal money to pay for his mother's medicine, only to get caught in an explosion, putting him in the hospital. He saw the father was there weeping, wondering if he really did care for his son. Unfortunately, he cried because Andrew's mother was dead and angrily blamed his son for her death because he went out looking for him. He watched the memories as Andrew finally snapped, almost ready to take his father's life had it not been for Matt, who saved him. Naruto saw as both Andrew and Matt went into a battle in their city, putting hundreds of lives at stake. Andrew had been so corrupted and blinded by hate and frustration, Matt had to kill his cousin by impaling him with a statue's spear for the sake of the city. The boys meanwhile saw Naruto's life flash into their minds, and they were equally shocked as their link ended and they looked to each other. "Whoa!" they all gasped. "Guys, you really?" Naruto asked. "And you have, eh?" Steve asked. "I do," Naruto admitted. Wow, and I thought my life was shit. Andrew said, recalling the pain Naruto went through. So the four boys started talking, getting to know each other better as the Shinigami supervised them. Naruto spoke. Andrew, I'm sorry about what happened. You didn't deserve to be treated so badly. Well, I only made it worse when I went out of control, Andrew explained. I'm just as surprised I went to heaven after all I did. I even begged God to send me to hell. You were only blinded by your power, and your dad didn't make it any better, Steve said. But Steve, I killed you out of frustration, Andrew reminded him. And you already apologized, Steve replied as Andrew calmed down. Sorry guys, just bad memories. You've all been through a lot with this power, Naruto said, and like you Andrew, I almost succumbed to my own frustration when I attacked those Rutambu. I learned if I continued to attack out of frustration I'd put many in harm's way. Yeah, like I did, Andrew admitted. Naruto turned to Matt. I don't get it, if you lived longer than them why do you look like your teenage self? I'm a spirit now, I'm able to alter my age being dead and all, Matt explained. You can really do that? When you're dead you'd be surprised what you're able to do, at least spiritually speaking, Matt replied. Well Matt, when you left Tibet promising to do good things and find out what happened to you guys down there in that hole. What did you find about that thing? Matt smirked smugly. Sorry, no spoilers. What? Naruto asked. I had to find the answer myself, it's only best you do. Matt smirked. Oh, you asshole! Naruto chuckled as he wrestled with Matt as Steve and Andrew joined in for fun. Kurama and the Shinigami watched as the four boys were fooling around just like a group of close friends would. Soon enough Naruto stood opposite of the three boys. It was a blast talking with you Naruto, Matt said. Right back at you guys, Naruto added. You keep on working on your power, and staying alive out there, Steve added. Will do Steve. Naruto nodded. Andrew approached, and promised me Naruto, that you will never fall into darkness and become a monster like I did. Not on your life, that'll happen to me, Naruto promised. Then we wish you the best of luck, Matt said as the four boys put their hands in and threw them up. Alright boys, time for you to go. The Shinigami held his arm up blocking Naruto's view of the three, and when he lowered it they were gone. Thanks for letting me meet those guys Shinigami-sama. Think nothing of it boy, but do me a favor and call me by my name, Zaldin. Alright then Zaldin, Naruto replied. Well I'd best be going. I have a job to do you know, Zaldin asked as he vanished. I think that Zaldin's an okay Shinigami, Naruto admitted. Whatever you say, Kurama replied as Naruto returned to his regular sleep. When morning came Naruto woke up and stretched. Ah, what a glorious morning. He looked up at the clear sky. After heating up some minute-made ramen on an open fire he enjoyed his breakfast. Once his stomach was full he went to the nearby stream and bathed himself nice and clean. Once he dried off he took out a map of the ninja land. Let's see, where can I go from here? He checked the closest villages and such. Hey, I know I'll fly to Sunna and drop in on Gaara. It's been over a month since I last saw him. Besides, no doubt Basen already sent him a letter about my banishment. Well, if Sunna's where you want to go right now, then go, Kurama thought. Alright then, Naruto said as he collected his things, putting them back in his scroll, and flew off into the sky. In Konoha in Root's underground HQ, Danzo was sitting in a meditating state until one of his guards appeared. Well? He asked. Still no word of Naruto Uzumaki, Danzo-sama. Danzo frowned. Why are you letting him slip through your hands? Apologies, Danzo-sama, but every chance we believe to spot him he ups and vanishes without a trace. Excuses. Danzo called and snapped his fingers with two more guards appearing, taking the one by both arms. You've failed in your purpose and are no longer of use to me. Rather than question his master or struggle, the one Umbu spoke. Hi, Danzo-sama. And with that the two took the one away where he would be executed. Danzo frowned. So help me boy, you cannot run forever. Back with Naruto he was flying around the skies in the direction for Sunna, and soon found himself flying over the land of Wind's desert. Flying above the sand is a lot better than walking on it, Naruto admitted as he continued to fly. He looked ahead and saw a village in the distance, Sunna just up ahead. He picked up the pace but knew he had to land before he actually reached the village for fear of being spotted. When he got close enough he landed on the sand and walked the rest of the way before reaching giant walls. Great, now how do I get in? He asked until a voice called. Halt, who goes there? Naruto froze as a Sunna guard approached. Identify yourself. My name's Naruto, I'm very good friends with Gaara, and I'd like to see him, Naruto explained. I'm gonna need to see some proper identification, the guard said until another voice spoke. He's allowed. They turned seeing Kankuro approach. Hey Kankuro, Naruto called. Naruto, it's been a while. Kankuro waved. You know him, Kankuro? The guard asked. Yeah, he's a friend of mine and my sibs. If it weren't for this guy, Gaara wouldn't be who he is today. Kankuro replied, making the guard gasp, and turned to Naruto. Please write this was Naruto. Arigato. Naruto said as the guard led him and Kankuro through the wall's opening in the center. Kankuro spoke, nice hair Naruto, blonde didn't work out for you? Sort of. Naruto admitted. Soon the two entered the village and Naruto looked around, seeing the village of Sunna for the very first time, seeing it was just like a village in a desert would be like. No grass, lots of sand and minerals on the ground, and wind blowing around. Welcome to Sunna, Naruto. Kankuro welcomed him. Feels homey, in a desert sort of way. Naruto admitted. Come on, Gaara will be glad to see you. Kankuro showed him to Sunna's administration building. When they entered the office, they saw Gaara at his desk doing paperwork, and Temari at his side supervising him. The two sibs looked up, seeing their brother and their old friend. Naruto? Temari gasped. Hey guys, good to see ya. Naruto greeted them. We're glad you could come, Gaara said as he stood up. We heard what happened to you from Lady Tsunade. It just wasn't right. Temari added. You did your job but only got banished, you didn't deserve that. Kankuro said. Thanks guys, but I'm fine, really I am. In fact, I've never felt better. How so? Gaara asked. My liberation from that village has given me more than I've ever had. Naruto explained. Really, such as? Temari asked. Naruto thought, I know I haven't told Shizuka or Hataru about my power, but maybe these three will understand better since I know them more. He spoke. Alright, you three listen up because a lot has happened since I left Konoha. So the three gathered around their friend who told them what happened the moment he left Konoha. When he got around to talking about his powers he acquired from the object he found under the ground, he had to explain it one step at a time so not to confuse any of them. Once he covered his powers, he told them about Root and his trips to Kiri and Nashiko. And that's when I decided to come here. Naruto finished. The siblings were wide-eyed in shock, even Gaara for that matter. Wow, that's just wow. Kankuro said. I know. Temari agreed. Unbelievable. Gaara said. But you seriously can move objects using your mind? Kankuro asked. Then you require a demonstration? Naruto asked, and they nodded. Very well. Naruto aimed his palm over at a scroll on the table that flew right off it and into Naruto's hand, surprising the three sibs. Whoa. Kankuro gasped. Proof enough? Naruto asked. Okay, I believe ya. The puppet ninja said. And you used that power to fly here? Temari asked. Yeah, would have been a lot longer if I walked. Naruto joked. And you didn't tell anyone this? Gaara asked. Not until you guys, he replied, and I request you not tell this to Tsunade Bazin or any of my friends. After all, if it got out to Danzo or any of his root flunkies, then they'll be after my head. I understand. Gaara nodded. Still, getting you banished wasn't enough, now one old man just wants you dead? Kankuro asked. It's a curse, I'm afraid. Naruto admitted. I know what you mean, Gaara admitted and spoke. Well, Naruto, while you may not be a Konoha ninja anymore, you're still always welcomed here in Sunna. After all, I owe big for pulling me out of the darkness of loneliness. Naruto pointed to him. No chick flick moments, Gaara. Now then, as long as you're here you deserve the grand tour of Sunna. Unfortunately I can't due to my paperwork. Gaara said. Yeah, and I'm still on guard duty. Kankuro added. Well, I could do it, Temari offered. Well, if you don't mind, Naruto. She hid a blush. Not at all, Temari. Naruto replied. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Come in. Gaara said. Entering the room was a young woman who was fairly tall, of curvaceous built with a large bust. She was fair-skinned with pupilless brown eyes. She had green hair tied in a bun on top of her head with a hair needle running through it, and 2 locks of hair with orange tips framing each side of her face. She wore a sleeveless, backless top and short tight pants, with 2 lapels on the front and the back. She wore an obi around her waist, as well as purple arm warmers which extended up to her shoulders, and had bandages around her tights and ankles. Gaara-sama, I have returned from my mission. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were entertaining. The young woman said, noticing Naruto, who was blushing at her a bit. Whoa, she's cute, he thought. Gaara spoke. Naruto, let me introduce you to one of our village's renowned kunoichi Pakura. Pakura, this is mine and my sibling's friend Naruto Uzumaki. Hi there. Naruto greeted. A pleasure, she replied and thought, wow, I never would have guessed a boy so young could be that good looking. Whoa, what am I saying? Just calm down, Pakura, she thought. Pakura? Gaara asked. Hi, Gaara-sama? She asked, snapping out of her thoughts. I know this is sudden, but would you please help Temari in giving Naruto a tour of our village? The red-haired boy requested. Me? Pakura asked. Yeah, Pakura, after all you do have a lot of free time on your hand. Kankuro smirked. Pakura blushed and frowned. Oh, be quiet. Alright, Gaara-sama, I accept. Splendid. Gaara replied. Naruto smirked, coming in between the two kunoichi, putting his arms around them, holding them close. Let's do it, ladies. The two kunoichi blushed while Pakura slid away a bit. Yes, welcome alone, Uzumaki-san, she said. On my way, Naruto said as he followed the two kunoichi eagerly to see Sunna. Last time, Naruto decided to fly to Sunna to pay a little visit to his friends there. Upon his arrival, he was greeted welcomingly by the Sunna Sibs, and especially his fellow Jinchuriki Gaara, who was now ruling. In need of a tour guide, Gaara ordered Temari and kunoichi Pakura to be his tours. Naruto looked around the village as Temari and Pakura showed him around. I gotta say, this is a nice village you guys got going on here, Naruto admitted. Glad you think so. Sorry if it's a bit hotter than what you're normally used to, Temari said. Well, I needed to work up a tan anyway, Naruto admitted. So Naruto, Pakura began, what village did you come from? Naruto froze but answered, well, Pakura, I originally came from Konoha. Konoha? Originally? Yeah, it was my home, before I was banished. Naruto continued to answer. Banished? But what did you do? It's not what I did, it's what they wanted to do. Still, they can't banish a ninja unless there was a reason. And there was, he continued, they banished me for completing a mission. I'm lost here, Pakura said. You know of the Uchiha clan of Konoha? He asked. Yes, the clan that was wiped out by one of their own, leaving 2 survivors. 2 brothers, she answered. Well, one of those brothers was my rival, and he was the survivor. I wanted to surpass him ever since the academy days, Naruto continued, but the more I tried, getting stronger only made him angrier. So out of jealousy, he fled Konoha to train with a vile Nuke-nin to become stronger. I was sent to stop him, and when I did, they banished me for roughing up their prized Uchiha, even though I was roughed up more. Pakura was shocked. They valued a traitor attempting to go Nuke-nin over someone who did his job. That's the way councils are, they care more about power and their village over their shinobi, Naruto replied. Well, I can see how you feel, Pakura replied. How so? While I may be a highly respected kunoichi and village hero for many accomplishments, however, our previous ruler, the Yondaime Kazekage, wanted to profit off my reputation. Profit off it? The red-haired boy asked. Yes. For as long as I can remember, he'd send me on suicide missions in hopes I would be killed, so he can use my death as an excuse to not only pin blame on other nations, but to also use my death as a means to encourage ninja to fight harder. Even though I knew he'd do it on purpose, I could never pin anything on our village leader. Even Kankuro and I knew our father liked to take risky methods just to benefit the village. But with Gaara running the place, we aim to see the village in a new light, Temari explained. Yes, I honestly admit I prefer Gaara's leadings over his father's any day, Pakura continued. Back then I was actually worried that Gaara may have ended up killing us all back when he was unstable. Until Naruto changed him, Temari reminded the kunoichi. Pakura turned to him. How did you manage to turn Gaara around? By showing him there are others like him, preferably me. And just because people call you certain things like monster or freak doesn't mean you have to accept what they call you. You are like him? Then does that mean you? Pakura began but was cut off by a female voice. Pakura-sensei, Temari-san. The 3 looked, seeing a girl with red markings on her face approached them. Pakura-sensei, when did you get back from your mission? A while ago, Maki, Pakura answered. Maki suddenly noticed Naruto. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had company. Well, Temari and I have been ordered to show our guest around Sunna, Pakura explained. I see, she replied. Who is this? Naruto asked. This is Maki, she's Pakura's student. Temari started introducing them. And Maki, this is Naruto, an old friend of mine and my siblings. Very nice to meet you, Maki greeted the boy. Likewise, Naruto replied. I'll meet up with you later, Maki, Pakura said. Okay. Maki headed off. She seemed nice, Naruto admitted. She is, and she also aims to get stronger, Pakura explained. She lost her father in a war with IWA, and wants to get stronger for his sake. Well, she does have something to drive her to get stronger, and that's good, Naruto said. Soon the 3 stopped by one of Sunna's training grounds. This is where our ninja come to train, Temari explained. Looks spacious. Naruto looked around, though why bring me here for the final spot? Well, I'm curious about your abilities, Naruto, Pakura began. No ordinary ninja would have been able to have defeated Gaara with words alone, so I'd like to see what you're capable of. Somehow I saw this coming, Naruto said to himself and looked to Pakura. Alright, if you're so interested in seeing what I can do, I'll be happy to oblige. So Naruto and Pakura stood on opposite sides on the training arena as Temari stood acting as proctor. Alright, you two, this will be a spar, so try not to kill each other. Hi. They agreed. Hajime. Temari called as Pakura and Naruto started going at it in taijutsu. Naruto was holding back the urge to use his powers until he determined if he needed to against Pakura. Personally, with your power you could end this a lot faster, Kurama thought. Then I wouldn't know just what Pakura can do that makes her such a respected kunoichi, Naruto thought back. I must say, Naruto, you're good at this, Pakura said as she blocked a kick from him. Thanks, you're not so bad yourself, Naruto replied as he got his leg free, but let me show you a little something of my own. Naruto summoned 7 shadow clones. Shadow clones? That's rare for a ninja at your age to perform such a high-ranked jutsu, Pakura noted. Well, I have the chakra for it. Naruto chuckled as he and his clones attacked Pakura, who attacked all of them, dispelling one after another. When the clones were all gone, she wondered where the real Naruto was. Realizing it, she spun around, seeing Naruto flying at her, prepared to deliver a kick, but she quickly jumped away, making Naruto miss. As Pakura was about to gain some distance to launch an attack on Naruto, she saw he vanished into thin air. What? Vanished? She gasped and felt a kunai at her neck. Yield? Naruto asked. Pakura lowered her guard. I yield. Pakura tuned, seeing Naruto was offering his hand. That was a good workout, so thanks. Pakura smiled. Yeah? She shook his hand. You're just lucky you ended it before Pakura decided to use her secret weapon against you, Temari warned him. Secret weapon? He asked. Pakura nodded. You see, I have a special chakra element. A Kekkei Genkai? Exactly, my style is Shikuten, Scorch Release, she explained. Shikuten, I've never heard of it, Naruto admitted, but I have met another type of unique elemental user, a guy who used Hayatan, Ice Release. I did hear rumors about that, Pakura admitted. Well, they're real. So what can this Shikuten style do? Allow me to demonstrate, Pakura said as she stood before 3 training dummies. She used hand signs and suddenly created 3 spheres of evaporating gas and fired them at the dummies that ended up losing all their stuffing. Whoa! Naruto gasped. If that was used on a living person, it would have been a lot messier, Pakura explained, for you see, my technique upon contact with an enemy can heat their insides, causing the water into the body to instantly evaporate and leave them a withered husk. Yikes, Naruto gasped that such a lethal technique exists. He then spoke. Well, since you were willingly to show me your special techniques, allow me to show you one of mine, he said as he concentrated on some kunai, making them levitate up, and launched them at several targets, hitting dead center. Pakura was slack-jawed. What? But how did you do that? My own kind of talent, though I wasn't born with it. I had to master it. What do you call it? She asked. It's telekinesis, the ability to move objects at will. That is impressive, she admitted. That was nothing, check this out, Naruto said as he concentrated and levitated himself off the ground and flew around. Oh Kami, Naruto, you're flying, Pakura gasped. I know. This is awesome. Naruto chuckled as he flew around a few times before touching back down. That was incredible, Naruto, but how did you move so fast to suddenly appear behind me? Pakura asked. Well, it's a little technique made by my late old man. Late old man, and who was that? Well, he was also the ruler of Konoha who died saving it. Pakura gasped. You mean the Yellow Flash? Correct. Why would the council banish the son of a hero? Pakura asked. Because they obviously didn't know, and even if they did, I doubt they would believe it or change their opinions about me. Pakura looked at Naruto and saw a bit of herself in him, seeing that both were used and tossed around by their superiors, but saw compared to him she had it easier, while he did not. She approached him and put a hand on his shoulder. You know, not only do you and Gaara have much in common, but you also have much in common with me as well. Naruto thought about it, seeing Pakura had a point in her claim. Yeah, I guess you're right. Temari smiled but felt envious, seeing how much closer they were getting. Hey Naruto, how about you join me for dinner? Really, Temari? Yeah, I mean, you must be starving, right? Well, I am famished, he admitted. Great, I'll show you one of my favorite places to eat out, Temari replied while Pakura noticed. Does Temari like Naruto? She thought. Why does this irk me? Oh, don't tell me I'm falling for him. Oh, but I can't help it. Naruto and I have so much in common. It's like he and I were made for each other. Maybe I can get alone with him tonight. Soon Pakura said her byes and took her leave as Naruto and Temari went to have dinner at one of Sunna's restaurants, where they gorged on some delicious food. Yum, this is good, Naruto said as he ate. I'm glad you like it. I know this isn't like your favorite eat-out spot in Konoha, Temari replied. Yeah, but this place is good enough for me, Naruto admitted. I appreciate you doing this for me, Temari. After all, you, Gaara, and Kankuro treat me better than most residents in Konoha. That's because you're our hero Naruto, she began. Because of you, Gaara has become a better person, and my brothers and I are like a real family. We owe you so much for this. Well, you know I'm just doing my thing and making people into better people. Naruto admitted until he found his hands clasped together with Temari's and he looked into Temari's eyes. She was gazing at him with passion. And that's a wonderful gift you have, Naruto, and I'm glad you could use it to set my youngest brother straight, otherwise, he would have grown up into more of a mindless killer than he used to be. Your ability to change people is very admirable, and I wish there were more people out there like you. Temari. Naruto blushed. Please, Naruto, let's enjoy this moment, she said as the two leaned in closer before planting their lips on each other and kissed passionately. When they parted, Naruto gasped, that was great, but I thought you liked Shikamaru. Temari did a double take. What gave you that idea? Well, Shikamaru did tell me you talked to him after the mission, getting him to man up and all. I was just trying to help him see he did all he could, and that he couldn't have kept any of you guys from coming back hurt and all. That doesn't mean I have a thing for him. Oh, then does that mean you have a thing for me? Naruto asked teasingly, making her blush. Well, I did kiss you. Doesn't that give you any hint? Temari asked, thinking he was clueless. I'm just messing with you, Temari, lighten up. Naruto chuckled. The kunoichi could only smile. You're such a goof. Meh, I've been called worse, he replied, and the two chuckled. Later that night, Naruto was given a guest room at the siblings' place in the administration building. Naruto woke up and went to his balcony to look up at the night sky. Nice night, he said to himself. It is, isn't it? A voice asked. Naruto spun and looked, seeing Pakura leaning against the wall. Pakura, what are you doing out this late? I just wanted to see you is all, since I was unable to join you and Temari for dinner, Pakura said. So you snuck all the way here to see me, I feel so touched, Naruto teased. Pakura teased back, and I haven't even laid a hand on you yet. What? Naruto did a double take at her teasing. Pakura chuckled, I'm just messing with you, Naruto. She rubbed his shoulder. Are you always like this? Naruto asked. Well, not especially, but something about you has me loosening up or something, Pakura admitted. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, I tend to find the uptight sort of people boring. I mean, not saying you are like that. None taken. Naruto got an idea. Say, Pakura, if you really want to loosen up, I got a solution. You do? She asked. Yeah, wait out here while I get changed, Naruto said, going back inside, and soon came back out wearing jeans and a long-sleeved black shirt. Given the fact he was in a desert, the temperature was much colder at night. Before I do what I am about to do, I have to know something, Pakura. Do you trust me? Pakura looked into Naruto's eyes, seeing he was serious about his question. I do, she answered. All right then, Naruto said as he scooped the young woman up. Hey, what are you doing? Pakura protested. Just relax, Pakura, and try not to scream so loud, Naruto said as he took off into the air and started flying around Sunna with Pakura wrapping her arms around his neck. Naruto, look out! Pakura called as she thought they would crash into one of the buildings. Don't worry, Pakura, I got you, he said and thought, wow, she's even cuter when she looks nervous. You really love getting a rise out of people, don't you? Kurama asked. Hey, doing it shows me sides of them I never would have guessed they had, he thought back. Naruto continued flying around Sunna as Pakura began calming down and started enjoying the ride, even going as far as letting out a few excited calls of excitement. Suddenly Naruto started flying upward, heading for the sky. Naruto, why were you going up so high? Pakura asked in confusion. There's something I want to show you, Naruto said as he finally passed the clouds and floated above them. Behold. Pakura looked and gasped, seeing they were above the clouds and closer to the sky, getting a better view of the stars and the moon itself. Wow. Amazing, isn't it? Naruto asked. It's beautiful, Pakura said in nostalgia. Yeah. Naruto smiled as he looked at the night sky. Pakura gasped as she looked at Naruto, seeing the moon shine off his face, giving him a nostalgic look. She blushed until Naruto looked at her. You okay? Pakura quickly shook her blush off. I'm fine, Naruto. I'm glad, Naruto said as they looked at the star-filled sky. Consider yourself lucky. Not many can see the night sky this up close. I can tell, Pakura said. Thanks for bringing me up here, Naruto. My pleasure, he replied as they continued to enjoy the moment. Soon Naruto flew back down to Sunna and dropped Pakura off onto another building. Thanks again for the fun night, Naruto. No problem, we'll have to do it again, he replied. I'd love that, Pakura said as she leaned and planting a kiss on Naruto's lips as the guy himself humbly returned it. When they broke, Pakura smiled and headed off. Naruto smiled and jumped up. Yes. He cheered as he flew back to the administration building and landed at the balcony of the guest room. I gotta say, Kurama, I truly am a lucky guy. Obviously. So Naruto went back inside and went to bed where he slept the night away. He then decided to stay a few days to catch up with Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro. He also decided Sunna would be the perfect spot to perform his magic show and get new audiences. And at night he would meet up with both Temari and Pakura and have some downtime. After 5 days, Naruto was about ready to leave, having made a bundle of cash to add to his savings, and knew it was time to move on. He stood on top of the building with Gaara, his sibs, and Pakura. "Do you really have to go, Naruto?" Kankuro asked. "Afraid so, Kankuro, there's still so much out there I want to see," he answered. "We will look forward to your return," Gaara said. "Thanks, G. Stick around a little longer next time, Naruto," Temari said. "Yeah, your mountains of fun," Pakura added, and the two kunoichi chuckled. "I'll keep that in mind, ladies." Naruto smiled and blushed, recalling the dates he went with them, the nights he stayed. "Well, Sunna, it's been wild. But I gotta go." He took off into the air and flew off, leaving his friends from Sunna to parts unknown. In Konoha, Tsunade had gathered the Konoha rookies at the office, where she, Jiraiya, Shizen, and Kakashi were ready to read Naruto's latest letter. "Man, Naruto's been gone for a month and he's still managing to survive out there," Kiba said. "You know he's too stubborn to die, Kiba," Shino reminded him. "Yes, Naruto will not die so easily, even without the protection of the village," Lee ranted. "Will you shut up, Lee, and Tsunade-sama please read the letter?" Tenten said. "Yeah, I want to know how he's doing," Sakura said as everyone gathered around in anticipation. "Alright, everyone calm down and I'll read it," Tsunade said as she opened up the letter and read it out loud for everyone to hear. "Dear friends of Konoha, it's been over a month since my banishment, but as I've said before, I'm doing perfectly well. Since my last letter, I've gotten another job of making money outside my magic show and bounty hunting. I'm now learning how to play the banjo. I know it's hard to juggle 3 jobs so far, but I do have my clones that can cover the other 2 if needed. And when you live on your own, traveling from one place to another, having more than one job is being safe than sorry. During my travels, I managed to pop in on Gaara and Sunna. As I'm sure you're all aware, things are going incredibly well now that Gaara's nicer and running the place. I even made a new friend while I was visiting. Her name is Pakura. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well in Konoha without me around. I'll write again as soon as I got the time. Love, Naruto." "Well, it sounds like Naruto's making quite a living," Kakashi admitted. "I just can't believe he's doing magic, bounty hunting, and banjo playing to make a living," Chuji said. 3 jobs is so troublesome, makes me relieved I only have 1 job." Shikamaru yawned. "You think Naruto will really find someplace out there to permanently call his new home?" Hinata asked, worried. "Don't worry, Hinata," Niji began with a smile. "If we know Naruto as we should, he'll find a better place one day." Niji's words prompted everyone else to agree with hope for their old comrade. Tsunade nodded and spoke to Jiraiya. "Jiraiya, be sure to brief us if another messenger toad comes back to you with another one of his letters." "You don't even have to give me that order," Jiraiya replied. Ino noticed Sakura still looking a bit depressed. "Hey, don't worry, Sakura. Naruto's doing just fine." "Yeah, I know," the Pinkette began. "I just wished he didn't have to go." "We all feel that way," Shizen replied. "I just wonder where he is right now," Sakura said, knowing it's a big ninja world out there, and he could be just about anywhere. Naruto currently was sitting on a floating log in a swamp located in the swamp country. He was playing a few notes on his banjo. He sighed as he looked up at the sun shining down onto the swamp. This place was a nice stop for a quick rest," he said before sealing his banjo inside one of his scrolls before pulling out a map. "Now let me see, where to next?" He looked at the map, trying to pick a land he hadn't checked out yet. Hey, I know. I'll fly out to the sea country. With 4 islands around it, I'll make 4 times as much as I do in my magic act." So he packed up his map and put his knapsack on and flew off into the sky and above the swamp, going south. Within 2 hours, Naruto found himself flying above the sea country and spotted 4 islands down below. "Now let me see," Naruto said as he got into a monk sitting position and pointed out the islands. "The main one is the Mother Island, that's Jiro Island, there's Taro Island, and finally Demon Island. Well, better start with the big Mother Island." He flew downward, landing by the ship's ports behind some crates. When he walked out, he straightened his cloak and started walking around to find a place he could stay during his visit. He stopped outside a place known as Shirajuku Inn. "This looks like a good place to rest." He entered and checked into a room. He laid atop the bed and gazed up at the ceiling. "I tell you, Kurama, at the rate I'm going with my tours, I'll never run out of moolah. Aside from the fact you've been storing half of it away so that you can hire a crew to build you your own compound?" Kurama asked. "Oh yeah, it'll have air conditioning, pool table, outdoor and indoor hot springs, a sauna, a training dojo, and so much more. You'll need a fortune if you're to actually pay a crew to build you a place like that." That's why I'm touring all around putting on numerous shows. Plus I need to find an exact spot where to build my compound. Why not just build over the ruins of Uzushio? No one else is using it since it's been taken off the map. That does sound like a good idea. But before I do, I still intend on traveling all over the ninja land so I can at least say to people I've seen it all. Then you'll sound like an old geezer who's lived past his prime, the fox joked. Oh, shut up. He then sat up and conjured a Kage Bunshin. Alright man, you take the banjo and put on a few shows to make some easy money. No problem, his clone said as he took off. As for me, I'd better go and pick a perfect spot to set up my magic show, he said as he grabbed his cloak and headed off. He walked around the town seeing it was quiet and quaint, almost reminding him of Wave. There's got to be a good spot that's wide enough and sure to attract a large audience. Suddenly he looked in the distance in the direction of the forest outside town and saw an explosion. Whoa, looks like something is up. Naruto, for all you know it could be dangerous. You don't even know what it is you'd be up against, Kurama warned him. That's why there's only one way to find out, Naruto thought back as he hovered up before flying off in the direction of the forest. Meanwhile in said forest, a girl had been running from an attack. She appeared to be about age 13, and her appearance included purple hair with 2 long bangs tied by pink ties at the low bottom of each, black pupilless eyes. She wore a sleeveless tunic blouse with brown shorts and a simple yellow sash around her waist. What was odd about her was that her face, arms and legs were wrapped in bandages. She had been pursued by a man with gray hair and a mini ponytail, and wore a lab outfit. He was accompanied by 2 individuals. One had shoulder-length black hair and wore 2 black ocular lenses over his eyes. The second one had black spiky hair and wore glasses. You're not getting away from us, the glasses one said, throwing a paper bomb-wrapped kunai at the girl that exploded, knocking her to the ground. The 3 pursuers landed and the one in the lab coat approached. Isaribi, you really shouldn't disobey an order and wander off like this. It just isn't right. No! I'm through being your little experiment, she shouted. Is that so? The man asked. Because I'm not through with you. Boys, bring her to me. You got it. The one wearing the 2 dark lenses replied as they approached, but suddenly felt themselves being lifted off the ground and slammed into a tree. What? The man gasped, seeing Naruto approach with his hood up, covering his face. You 3 got a lot of nerve picking on others. Stay out of this has nothing to do with you, the man ordered. Maybe not, but I'm making it my business, Naruto replied until he caught a glimpse of the 2 guards accompanying the man. Wait a minute, I know those 2. Yoroi Akado and Misumi Tsurugi. They're Kabuto's teammates from the Chunin exams, and if they're here, there's a good chance Kabuto might be as well, maybe even Orochimaru. Yoroi and Misumi, get that gaki out of my way, the man ordered. With pleasure, Misumi said as he and Yoro formed hand signs and each launched a water projectile. The girl looked shocked, thinking both she and her protector were done for, but Naruto did some hand signs before putting his palms to the ground and called, Doton, Doria Heki, Earth Release, Earth-style wall. Suddenly a long stone wall rose up from the ground and shielded them from the projectiles. What? Yori gasped. The wall dropped and Naruto spoke. That was a good move, boys. Now here's one of my own. He put his hand to his mouth. Futon, Daitapa, wind release, great breakthrough. He blew a large blast of wind at the 3, sending them flying off backwards into the distance. Dang, I guess I put a little too much force into that gust, he chuckled. Well, you do what you can, am I right? He saw the girl was gone. He looked ahead, seeing she was once again on the move. He quickly flew after her and slid before her, blocking her path. Well there, doll, what's the big rush? Please, get away from me. She tried to go around, but he slid, blocking her retreat. Now is that any way to thank a guy who just saved your life? He asked. You don't understand. No one is safe if they're near me, she argued. What, against those 3 I'm more than a match. Besides, what were they after you for? That doesn't matter, now move. The girl tried to force her way around Naruto, who wasn't letting up. Ugh, I hate dealing with stubborn girls. But I did learn some things about dealing with people who are stubborn, he thought before thrusting his fist back and spoke. Sorry to do this to you. He slugged her right in the stomach, knocking her out as she fell into his embrace, passed out. You just knocked out a girl by punching her in the stomach, Kurama said. Yeah, what else was I supposed to do to someone as stubborn as her? He asked as he hefted the girl over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. I should get her back to town. You know the style you're carrying her is a form usually done by pedophiles and rapists, Kurama noted. Fortunately I'm either, you smart Alec Fox, Naruto thought as he flew off, heading back to town so he could nurse the girl back to health. Last time Naruto had flown out to the sea country in hopes of finding fresh audiences for his magic and banjo shows. Upon his arrival he bumped into a girl being pursued by some scientists for reasons unknown. Naruto, being himself, protected the girl and drove her pursuers off. When he tried to get answers out of her, she merely tried to get away, forcing Naruto to knock her out. And now it continues. The girl tossed and turned before her eyes started opening. Her vision was at first hazy until things started coming into clear. She finally saw she was lying on a bed in Sumin's room. She looked around, seeing the boy who came to her defense sitting on an armchair looking over at her. "Oh, finally awake, huh?" Naruto asked. "You had me worried there. I thought I knocked you out too hard." "Where am I?" he asked. "The Shirajuku-in. You've been asleep for the past 2 hours." 2 hours? She sat up. "Yup, so you're gonna tell me what those 3 wanted with you now?" She looked away. "It's best you don't know." "And why's that?" "The details are too much for anyone to handle." "You saying I can't handle it?" he asked. "Listen, I've heard a lot of messed up stuff from others, so it's not like what you have to say is probably something I've never heard before. You wouldn't understand." She continued to play stubborn and was shocked seeing Naruto was suddenly in her face. "Try me," he challenged her. Isaribi blushed. "Well, could I at least know your name before I start spilling my life story?" "Of course, my name's Naruto Uzumaki, and your name's Isaribi, correct?" he asked, recalling the man call her by that name. "That's right." "So, what's your story?" Naruto asked. "Well, this began years ago. That man in the lab coat that was after me is Amachi. He used me as a subject for his twisted experiments. He was hired by another to conduct experiments on others that would give them the ability to breathe underwater. His employer sought to create an army of ninja who could operate underwater. Many of the test subjects were proven failures and died. But me, I was the only one to survive and handle the transformation process. However, as backlash, I could not fully transform back to my full human form. These bandages I wear cover all the fish-like scales and such that cannot return to normal. Ever since then, people would call me a monster and treat me like garbage," she said with anger. Naruto remained silent but understood completely what Isaribi was going through. "I hated Amachi for what he did to me, but he said he would cure me if I did a few jobs for him." "What kind of jobs?" Naruto asked, knowing they weren't good. "He had me attack ships importing and exporting goods. But I discovered he had no cure, and had just been using me. I escaped. I've been on the run from him until you arrived." "What a jerk, using you and lying to you. Hell, you and I got more in common than you know." "And how is that?" Isaribi asked curiously. "You think your life was hard. What I'm about to tell you will make you cry," Naruto said as he shared his life story with her. He left out about the meteor giving him psychic power, not wanting to expose too much. When he finished his story, Isaribi was on the verge of tears as she realized Naruto did live a life similar to hers, only she had it easier while he had not. "Naruto, about what I said." "You don't have to say it, Isaribi," Naruto replied. "You didn't know." "Well, you may want to know that the one who tempted Sasuke was also the one who orchestrated the experiment used on me." "What? That was Orochimaru's doing?" Naruto asked in surprise. "Yes, but Amachi had not seen Orochimaru for some time now. I think he abandoned the project." "Typical of him." Naruto sighed. "Listen, Naruto, I should really get going. It'll be a matter of time before Amachi tracks me here." "Good, if he comes, then I'll fight," Naruto said. "What?" "That guy screwed your life over, and I'll be damned if he continues to haunt you because of this." "You don't have to do this, you know," she replied. "Yeah, I don't, but I want to," he answered. "Sometimes trying to carry a load alone can bring you down." "I don't know what to say," Isaribi said with a faint blush. "Just promise me you'll trust me." "I will." "Good, now come with me. I know a way to take your mind off things." "How?" "Just come with me." He took her by the hand and led her outside. Soon enough, Naruto was dressed as his alter ego for his magic show, whom he identified himself as Magestro. "Good day, folks, and welcome to the show. I am your host, the master of the magical arts, and all-around wonder Magestro," he called as the audience applauded. "Today I'd like to welcome an old friend who has so graciously decided to join me in my show. Please give a warm welcome to my special guest, the mysterious Bai." As it turned out, Isaribi had been part of his act, but to keep her identity from the public safe, she was now wearing an all-blue bodysuit and wore a kabuki mask with the design of a dolphin. The crowd applauded, much to Isaribi's relief that they could not see through her disguise. Naruto spoke. "For my first trick, I shall balance on one hand on top that pole there, with by balancing atop my foot using one hand." Naruto and Isaribi then got on the pole as Isaribi whispered, "Are you sure we can do this?" "With my ability, it's possible," he whispered back as he put his hand on the pole and balanced himself on it. The crowds gasped, seeing the rumors of Magestro's performance were really true. "And now, Bai, to complete the trick, you must jump onto my foot and balance with your hand." His visible eye winked at her. "Okay." she said as she jumped but found herself jumping higher than she expected and used her hand to balance on Naruto's foot with her hand. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I didn't even know I could do this, Isaribi thought. The crowds gasped in surprise that she made it, but applauded. Yes, wonderful, bye, well done, Naruto called. For an hour Naruto continued his show with Isaribi's assistance, and needless to say they were really making a killing with their act. Later Naruto and Isaribi were back at the inn counting up their profits. I never knew this show would be so profitable, Isaribi said. We were a hit. Naruto chuckled and handed her some money. Here's your share. Arigato, she smiled, and thanks for the fun today, Naruto. I can't even remember having so much fun in all my life. I happen to be great and showing people fun, Naruto admitted. Isaribi smiled while thinking, Naruto certainly is something. I've never met someone like him ever, not even during my time captured. Suddenly they heard an explosion outside. Naruto went to the balcony and saw Yoroi and Misumi along with he wanted to assume was Amachi, but he looked like a green humanoid sea creature. Isaribi, you'll want to see this. Isaribi went to the balcony and looked. Oh no, it's Amachi. Is there a reason he looks like that? Naruto asked. He must have used the formula that made me what I am on himself, she theorized. Amachi was firing bullets of water from his mouth around the village. Come out, wherever you are, he called in sing-song. She's got to be here somewhere, Yoroi said. Naruto spoke to Isaribi. They're trying to draw you out. Wait here, I'll deal with them. He grabbed his cloak and was prepared to leave until Isaribi held his arm. Wait a minute, Naruto, let me come with you. Isaribi, you step out there, you'll be like a piece of meat thrown to the dogs. You told me that trying to carry a load alone can bring you down. Well, I can't let you carry this load by yourself. She concentrated and suddenly the bandages on her body started ripping. Standing before Naruto was Isaribi, who was green and appeared to be like a human sea creature like Amachi. Isaribi. Naruto gasped. Yes, this is my true form, Naruto. Naruto nodded. Well then, let's go. Back in the village, Amachi and his two cronies were still causing trouble while trying to find Isaribi. Still no sign of her, Misumi said. Well, she can't hide forever, Amachi replied, feeling agitated. Yo! The three saw Naruto and Isaribi stand in the street facing them down. You looking for me? Isaribi asked. Isaribi, finally you decided to show yourself, Amachi began, and you brought the same punk who got in our way. Well, this punk is gonna make you regret what you did with so many human lives. Whatever do you mean? Isaribi told me everything. You and Orochimaru captured innocent lives and experimented on them with twisted reasons. Is it so twisted to actually come up with the idea of allowing ninja to breathe underwater? Amachi asked. No, but stripping them of their human appearances is another. Well, I was planning to find a way around that. Don't start giving me that bull. You never had any intention to make a cure. Naruto shot. Well, no point in covering up now, is there? Boys, take them. Yoroi and Misumi were ready to attack while Isaribi spoke. Naruto, leave Amachi to me. I got to settle this score. Okay. So Isaribi and Amachi went at it, throwing attack after attack, even going down to using water bullets from their mouths. You've learned well, Isaribi. This is why you were my prized project, Amachi said as he and the girl grappled. You taught me too well. Isaribi broke the grapple and the two were launched back. On the contrary, I didn't teach you everything, Amachi said as he attacked twice as hard, making it difficult for Isaribi to keep up. Meanwhile, Naruto was avoiding Yoroi's and Misumi's attacks. You two are way out of your league. I mean, if Sasuke and Kankuro could beat you two at the Chunin exams, what makes you think you can beat me? Wait a minute, how do you know Sasuke and Kankuro? Yoroi asked. I was there at the Chunin exams, but I used to be blonde, he answered. The two looked back, recalling the Chunin exams, and remembered one particular blonde boy whom they recognized as a loud, hyperactive one. So, it's you again, Misumi said. Naruto, Yoroi added. Correct, now answer me this again. What makes you think you can beat me if Sasuke and Kankuro could beat you? That's because we've gotten stronger since last time, Misumi answered. Oh really? I don't really see it. Naruto smirked under his cloak. The two frowned and went to attack Naruto while the boy just kept dodging whatever attacks they threw or blows they tried to land. What's going on here? Kabuto's record of him had nothing recorded of him being this skilled, Misumi said. He must have been holding out on us. Yoroi frowned. Actually, like you guys, I've also gotten stronger, except I've gotten even stronger than both of you put together. We'll see about that, Misumi called as the two went to attack him, only for both to be levitated off the ground and suspended in mid-air. Not again, Yoroi called. Oh yes, again. Naruto smirked until he looked over, seeing Isaribi looking like she needed help, once again it's time to shine. He levitated the two over as he went to the fish fighters. What's the matter, Isaribi, running out of juice? Amachi taunted. Isaribi panted, he's right, he's gotten stronger. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. She then remembered Naruto. But I can't give up, Naruto wouldn't want me to do that. She got up. Why don't you stay down and save yourself the extra pain? Amachi asked. I'm not about to surrender, especially not to the likes of you. Isaribi frowned as she went to attack Amachi again, giving it her all. She still wasn't faring too much since Amachi was still stronger, but Naruto suddenly called. Isaribi, see if you can send him over to me. Naruto called. I'll try. Isaribi replied as she fought Amachi using what strength she had and managed to use a water bullet to force Amachi into Naruto's direction. Gotcha! Naruto called as he used his power to launch Misumi and Yoroi at Amachi, knocking them together. Now for step 2. He summoned a single Kage Bunshin that pulled out some cloth and used his power to wrap some of it around the three, binding them together. And now the final touch. The real Naruto flew to the three and slammed his palms on the cloth bind and took them off, revealing a sealing formula was placed on it. As they lowered down, Misumi called, I'll get us out. He tried concentrating but nothing happened. What's going on here? Why can't I use my body softening technique? That's because of the seal I placed on your binding, Naruto began. It's a seal I invented that prevents you from using your chakra so long as you're bound together. Why, you little? Amachi growled. Now then, since you three are in cahoots with Orochimaru, I think the people of Konoha would be interested to hear what you might know about him. Naruto smirked. We don't know anything, Yora said. Really? Well, let's see what Tsunade Bazin has to say, Naruto said, nipping his finger, drawing a bit of blood. He did hand signs before putting his palm to the ground, Kuchio's no jutsu. And appearing before them was Jiraiya's common red toad. Hey, listen, can you use the reverse summon back to Konoha and take these three with you? Tell Erosenin that they're Orochimaru's acquaintances. The toad nodded and vanished with the three. Naruto looked to Isaribi. So that's what you really look like. When I'm in full fish form, yes, she admitted shamefully. Naruto walked around her, appearing to be studying her appearance. I know I look disturbing and hideous. Now don't start jumping to conclusions, Naruto began. Huh? I don't find you disturbing or hideous. But look at me, she cried. I can see it deep down. You may look like this on the outside, but I see you for who you are deep down inside, he said, while Isaribi looked confused but blushed as he confronted her and put a hand on her cheek. A beautiful girl. Naruto. She gasped and suddenly found herself pulled into a kiss by the boy. At first she struggled, but she started accepting the warm and welcoming feeling and melted into Naruto's embrace. Deep in Naruto's mind, Kurama had noticed this and said to himself, look at him, once again he brings the best out of someone. Well, perhaps I can score some appreciation as well, he said, concentrating, and some of his chakra flowed through Naruto and entered into Isaribi through the two lips in contact. Once the chakra entered Isaribi's chakra system, she could feel it as if it was burning inside her. When their kiss broke, Isaribi gasped, whoa, I've never felt anything that intense. Well, I got to say you're good, Naruto admitted until he gasped. What is it? She asked. Isaribi, you look. He brought her over to a barrel of water. The girl looked at her reflection, and to her shock she saw all of her body was perfectly human, even the spots she kept bandaged up looked normal. I'm normal, she cried. But how? Naruto asked until he realized, Kurama? You're welcome. But how, he thought. Your mother's family isn't the only one who knows of seals and such. And tell the girl to concentrate on her other form. Hey Isaribi, Naruto began, breaking her out of her happy frenzy. Kurama tells you to concentrate and envision your other form. Kurama? She wondered but remembered his story. Oh right, him. Why does he want me to do that? Got me. He shrugged. Isaribi did so and took her fish-like form. So now what? Naruto stood silently awaiting instructions and answered, now concentrate on your human appearance. She did so and returned to her human form with no hint of scales and such like before. I can control the change perfectly now. Kurama said he corrected the problem for you. Well, tell Kurama, he has my gratitude. She smiled. He nodded. He said it was his pleasure. He suddenly felt the girl leap to his arms and hug him tightly while he chuckled at her sudden expression of her gratitude. Nighttime came and Isaribi was leading Naruto through the woods. Isaribi, where are you taking me? You'll find out soon enough, she said as she continued leading him through until she stopped and Naruto looked ahead. Wow! He gasped, seeing she led him to a beautiful lake with a waterfall flowing. Beautiful, isn't it? She asked. It's amazing. You think it's amazing now, you're gonna love what's next. That is, how long can you hold your breath? I'd say long enough. Isaribi took on her fish form and stepped into the water. Then come with me, She extended her hand. Naruto took it as she led him down into the water, where he took a deep breath as they went below. Isaribi led Naruto as they swam under the water into what looked like an opening. She led the boy through the opening, going down a tunnel until Naruto could see light above them. The two swam up and surfaced, taking in breaths. Naruto looked and gasped, seeing she led him to a secret cavern with crystal-like stalactites that gave off a shiny glow. "Whoa!" he gasped. "You like it?" Isaribi asked as they stepped onto the cavern floor, with Isaribi returning to her human form. "I love it, it's so beautiful," he gasped. "I come here any time I get a chance to. I never told Amachi about it because he probably would have used it as a second hideout, or something." "Well, glad you could show me this place," Naruto said as he touched a crystal sticking out from the wall. "You want it, you can take it." "Really?" Naruto asked. "It could be worth something, and I know you need money," Isaribi said. "But Isaribi, go ahead, it's the least I can do for you, after you've done so much for me already." She smiled. "Thanks," Naruto said as he took the crystal out of the wall. Soon the two sat by the water close together, as Isaribi laid her head into Naruto's shoulder, making him blush. "So Naruto, where will you go now starting tomorrow?" "Wherever the wind calls is all I can say," he joked, and they laughed. "Naruto, I want to know, what did you feel when you kissed me?" the girl asked, catching his attention. "What I felt? That's simple. I felt our souls intertwine as if we became one with ourselves and each other." "What about you?" "Well," she began, "I felt as if all the pain and suffering I endured for so long was lifted off me. When you kissed me so passionately, it gave me hope. The kind of hope that if someone like you could accept me for what I am, then there may be hope that others will accept me for what I am. Yeah, maybe you'll have even more luck than I had in my village. Just remember, Naruto, if you need someone to talk to, you can always come back to the sea country and talk to me," Isaribi said, looking into his eyes. "Thanks, Isaribi." "You're welcome." She stood up. "Come on, let's go for a real dip." She started stripping down, much to Naruto's shock as she stood before him in the buff for his eyes to look upon. "Isaribi," she gasped. "You likes?" She winked. "I love," Naruto panted. "Well, I'll be waiting." She giggled and jumped back into the water. "Wait for me." Naruto stripped before jumping in after her. The two swam around playfully and splashing each other like a couple of wild and crazy kids that they should be. The two then swam together and held onto each other with their chests pressing together, making them blush. "Naruto, I can feel your heartbeat." "Yeah, I can feel yours too." "It feels nice." Isaribi looked into his eyes. "So does yours," he said as they kissed under the glow of the crystal light from the cavern. They held onto each other to savor the moment. Meanwhile, far from the sea country inside an underground compound sat Orochimaru, the man who started the whole ordeal with Sasuke trying to go rogue from Konoha. He appeared to be inside of a different body that had short white hair, and his face was taped up with only his right eye showing. Since Sasuke was late getting to Orochimaru, the Nuke Nin was forced to swap bodies earlier. "Lord Orochimaru." Kabuto entered. "What do you want, Kabuto?" he asked in irritation. Ever since he discovered Sasuke was put under Konoha lockup permanently, he knew it'd be impossible for him to reach him now, especially the extra precautions Konoha security had taken since they discovered the Sound Four had infiltrated the village. "I've just received intel that Amachi, Yoroi, and Masumi have been captured and sent to Konoha for interrogation about us." And how, pray tell, were those three able to be captured so easily, and by who?" "From what my sources told me, it was someone wearing a brown cloak and appeared to have red hair and blue eyes." "Any other specifics?" "Well, this ninja was able to use the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu." "Kage Bunshin?" Orochimaru looked over to him. "Yes, my lord, do you think it's possibly?" Kabuto pondered. "Well, you did tell me a while ago Naruto was banished from Konoha, and all of a sudden some of my former cohorts happened to be defeated by someone who uses his trademark jutsu. It can't just be coincidence. What should we do? The boy is partly to blame for keeping Sasuke from me. So alert all our sources and lookouts to keep an eye out for anyone that matches the description of him." "Yes, my lord." Kabuto bowed his head and left. Orochimaru thought, "Naruto, you may have thwarted my plan to learn all the world's jutsu. So I will pay you back by ripping you to pieces." The next morning, back in the sea country, Naruto had collected his things and stood by the port with Isaribi, planning to see him off. "Well, I guess I'll see you around, Isaribi." "You promise you'll come back and visit Naruto?" she asked and received a kiss in response. "Promise. I'll be waiting." She smiled. "Well, gotta fly." Naruto flew off into the sky and out of sight while Isaribi waved goodbye. Isaribi then felt her lips recalling the kiss and blushed while smiling. "Until we meet again, Naruto," she thought. What if Naruto has harem with Temari, Hotaru T, Shizuka, And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.